everybody, how's it going? I'm Pabs, a racing VTuber and an artist, and today I seem to be standing on some type of stool or perhaps stepladder because I am way too high up on my desk. Alright, there we go. Now I'm nice and sat down, you know. I got a little yoga ball down here. I sit on that all day. Very good for the spine, I'm told. But today we're going to be heading in to do another art fight piece, so let's get right into it, shall we? Alright. Whee! Okay. Oh, that was weird. Why did my body do that? That was very strange. Okay. What was I doing? Right, CSV. So, today the character we'll be doing is this guy here, Ikariis. I'm gonna say that this is pronounced Ikariis. You know, like the dude who flew nearly into the sun, very close to the sun. Very famously, close to the sun. Perhaps not into the sun, but very close to. Too close, perhaps. I think that was a very important part of the legend. So yeah, it's apparently one of the... Yeah, apparently this is the artist's D&D character. And I love doing these, honestly. I love seeing what people come up with for tabletop game characters, because they honestly have a lot of... Like... I don't know why, but they feel very relatable, you know? They feel very... Like, if somebody has, like, a tabletop game character in their... How do I put this? Yeah, it's a weird feeling. Like, I like seeing people's tabletop game characters kind of for the same... They feel like OCs, but because they have... you know, more archetypes to work off of. So if you say, like, for example, oh, this guy's a paladin, this guy's a barbarian, it gives a little bit of a better idea as to what exactly the character is like. Also, this dude is 8 feet tall, which I'm pretty sure is like 250 centimeters, or it's pretty high. I remember it's very tall. Okay, so definitely kind of like on the buffer side, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna need to remember to do the legs properly as well. Okay. But yeah, they feel like OCs, but in a kind of more... how do I put this? Like, tabletop game characters I like because they feel like normal OCs, except... I don't know what but they have a certain je ne sais quoi. Something like that. Some kind of a... Like... Because you know that it's something meant to be used in a group with other people, it feels a little bit more friendly towards, like, to approach it. I'm really bad at explaining this, but and I might not even need to explain it. I could just like it because I like it. But, you know, I try to, what do you call it? I try to express? I think express might be the word that I'm looking for. Express my feelings as much as I can, because I think it's like it's for the best, you know. Okay. Also, I have just been scrolling through these different poses, trying to figure out which one I want to add, and thus far the only one that I kind of like is this kind of fire a gun one. I think that's gonna be kind of interesting if I also mix it with the idea that he's holding onto that huge guts berserk type sword over there. Okay. Okay, so maybe what I can do is... Oh dear. I don't think that's how spines work. That was going pretty well though. That went well until like the very last 40%, I'd say. I don't know, maybe I have some other poses in here. No, I think I did manage to move them all into the... What do you call? Yeah, I did manage to move them all into the... What do you call? Into the proper pose folder, which is... Good job on that, me, by the way. I'm very proud of myself whenever I, like, go back to... try and see through and try to like pick through my huge folder of like different downloaded materials from the Clip Studio Asset Store, and I see that I've actually organized them pretty well. I'm like, nice work, pat yourself on the back there. You know? Alright, but I've got an idea for how to do this. Okay, so we're gonna... Alright, so this hand is gonna go all the way back here, and over here. This one also. God, it always looks so painful when I try to move just the joints, because, yeah, I think you can see why I say that it looks a little painful. Like, this dude needs, like, some kind of chiropractor or something ASAP. Thankfully, that's why we're here. Now, I am not a licensed chiropractor, but I can definitely, like, make bones do, like, breaky sounds. I think that's easy enough to do. You know, I don't think you need a fancy university degree to be able to do that. Although I imagine it helps. Okay, and oh no, this isn't by no means the... Okay. I was gonna say, is this the closest we can put the elbow? And apparently no, that's not the closest we can put in the elbow, which is good because we need it to be a little bit further up. Okay. Then... Okay, I think this one is at the max though. Yeah, there we go. Yes, no, maybe? Yeah, no. We're almost there though. We're like, this is going somewhere. This is like, I want to say like 40% of the way there. Yeah, we're getting there little by little. Okay then. Oh, I didn't know there was like a shoulder option for this. That's gonna be that would have been useful half an hour ago, or you know, 30 months ago, whatever. How long have I been using 3D models for everything? I remember I did it like way back in like July or something. How long has it been? Oop. Hang on, I think I just want to move. Oh, why are you being like this? Okay, wait, no, that's actually just about perfectly aligned. Oh, cool. Nice, okay. So then we're going to want to change the hand pose up a little bit to have something that's properly firmly grasping it. Grab a strap? Not quite. I remember that I tend to use grab an umbrella for swords and stuff like that. Or, you know, just anything with a handle. I just hit it with grab an umbrella or hold an umbrella. Yeah, mainly because like the umbrella that this character seems to be holding is, you know, if you think about it, umbrellas are actually fairly uncomfortable to hold, but even so, they haven't really changed the design. I know they have like those, like especially weirdly enough, especially those kind of hook umbrellas. I find those super uncomfortable to hold. I mean, granted, you are trying to hold them against the wind, which isn't exactly, you know, it's like, it's weird. I know that if I don't want to hold an umbrella, I should maybe just get a raincoat or something, but raincoats are bad also. So, there's really no winning. Although I do like ponchos. Ponchos are very comfy to wear. My mom has a ton of ponchos, and she lets me borrow them sometimes. When it gets very chilly. Yeah. Especially, God, a poncho out of the dryer, by the way. Oh my God, you will never feel as cozy as when you have a poncho directly from the dryer. Okay, I think I have an idea for how to do this. Wait, no, I kind of want to do it from this angle. Because last time we did a character from this angle, right? You know, we did that girl who was doing that kind of delinquent squad. So what I want to do this time is maybe more like almost like this. Oh dear, his legs seem to have clipped through the floor. I don't know if that's healthy. I'm sure he can handle it. He looks like a very sturdy young man. Me when I'm definitely being affected by gravity. Look at this poor guy. Oh my God, he's gonna need some knee pads. Oh, he does have some. That's good. That's good. He'll need those. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the problem is that this pose doesn't really work unless you kind of reset the angle of it. Is there a button for that, by the way? Reset the angle, recenter? Center? No. Oh, revert to model default. Yeah, no, we don't want that. Default. Reset model rotation. There we go. That's the ticket. There we go. That's what we want. No, wait. Hang on. Something about this doesn't seem right. Hold up. Alright, okay, how about this then? No, wait, hang on. Okay, there we go. What are you doing? Are you okay? Okay, no, alright. My man was he was just really having a hard time there, wasn't he? Okay. So what about then we kind of tilt the torso up a little bit. There we go. Maybe like I can put the shoulder a little bit more forward too. That would mean I'd have to move this one around though, but that's fine. Look, I barely even had to do anything. That's perfect. Okay. And then we can just move it around by the joint. If I can figure out how to get it to where I need it to be. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So then... Okay, then maybe zooming in a little bit more as well. I don't know, do you think this is a good pose? He seems to be very enthusiastic about it. I love doing that. I love messing around with the 3D models, honestly. It gives me some great opportunities for clowning, because some of the times, you know, most of the time I know what I'm doing, but some of the times it just acts in a way that is completely out of left field. So, and that's honestly the best parts, because then I get to kind of have fun with it a little bit more. Okay. Then maybe we can like go like this. And then maybe to kind of pair up the leg a little bit, what we can do is to shift the foot over this. Nope, that's not gonna work. Okay, we need to re-angle the leg then. The leg itself is what must change. Now, which one of these is gonna do what I want it to do? Okay, itsy bitsy little spider, bit by bit, piece by piece, step by step. We are accomplishing this goal. This almost looks like a contortionist kind of pose, but it's actually very reasonable, although I should raise the leg up just a little bit more. Yeah, the good news is because now I got it in kind of like grabbing range, I don't really need to worry about it so much, you know? Like, once you get it into a kind of certain position, it's just much easier to manipulate it. And then, you know, he's got to face the camera a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. Is that his other butt cheek? Yes, it is. Dang. Alright. Well, you know, we got the pose, and that's really all we need. So let's lower the opacity on this and get a new vector layer going. Now I'm going to shrink down the reference a little bit because I need to be able to see where I'm drawing, and this has a lot of dark tones on it. I should drink some water. Okay. Let's do this thing. Alright, G-Pen, maybe around like 20 or so. Okay. Maybe a little bit closer too, so I can actually see up close. I think the most challenging thing... I'm not sure where to start drawing with this one. Usually I just start up at the head, but that might be one of the most difficult pieces. Yeah, not to dunk on myself or anything, but I'm not used to drawing lizard guys. You know, not like I try my hardest to avoid kind of self-depreciation humor, unless I'm joking about how fragile I am. In that case, I can just go hog wild because it's funny as fuck for me to have one hit point. But you know, when it comes to art stuff, I try to not do any self-depreciating jokes. First of all, because somebody might look up to me as an artist. You know, narcissistic a little bit, sure, but somebody might look up to me, and if I say that I'm bad at art, they're going to be like, "Oh man." So I like the bad artist all this time, and that's going to be a bad thing to do to them. You know, it's not a great thing for their egos. I'm noticing now that I'm using an anti-aliased pen, which is hateful. I'm not going to do that. Anyway, try to avoid self-depreciation stuff, especially if you're a creator, because, you know, you don't know who's kind of admires you as an artist, and if you say that your stuff is garbage, they're going to feel bad about it, and, you know, that's not a nice thing to do to somebody. However, my hit point thing is definitely just for me being a funny little guy. You know, that's not like putting myself down. That's kind of making a hyperbole of just how fragile I am. I don't know. I feel like my one hit point jokes are less so me putting myself down and more so me saying like, okay, yeah, this I'm gonna pop like a piñata the first, you know, if a bee lands on me, it doesn't even need to sting me, it just has to land on me, and I will fucking keel over like a plant in the desert. Alright. Trying to figure out how this mouth works. Oh, it's like an alligator mouth, I see now. Okay, hang on. Yeah. I've always really liked Dragonborn as well. I just like lizard, like in RPG games, like lizard or dragon type species are always such a blast. Because you have a lot of opportunities to do weird stuff with them. You know, lizards by themselves are kind of just a weird group of animals in general. I mean, take the Komodo dragon, for example. I remember that somebody said like it has venom or something, and then somebody says like no, it doesn't actually have venom. It's just like it just has a high chance of making, you know, a wound gangrenous because of the sheer amount of bacteria in its mouth. I don't know if that's correct either. I think they changed that as well. I don't know. Komodo dragons are a mystery to me. Thankfully, I haven't had to like tangle with one up close on any occasion, really. You know, I think I've only really seen them in zoos and on Animal Planet, so that thankfully I don't encounter many Komodo dragons day to day, or else my lack of knowledge on their anatomy and their specific threats might bring about my end. Yeah, I'm very grateful I've never lived in a place that has a lot of like wild animals, because knowing my dumbass, I would definitely try to pet one. I mean, I think I tried to pet an iguana one time when I went to the park with my parents. It, thankfully nothing happened, but, like, that would have been a bad idea. Those are definitely wild animals. You don't pet an iguana carelessly, alright? Men have lost their lives over such a thing. Not really. I doubt it. I don't know if somebody's actually been killed by an iguana before. You know, the chances of losing to an animal 1/3 of your size are low, but they're never zero. Yeah, I really like iguanas. They're so much fun. Funky little, like, long-tail lizards. Marine iguanas are especially interesting to me because you see them. Marine iguanas are, like, sheer black because underwater, that's a very good color for camouflage. At least I think that's why they're black, at least, you know. I'm pretty sure it's to blend in with the underwater surroundings. But because they go in and out of the sea so many times, you know, salt water, the salt just kind of accumulates as crust on their skin, and it looks really, really interesting. It's like when sloths. I've always had a hard time pronouncing that word. and slots have moss growing on top of them. It's a little bit like that. I know a while back I also saw a video about a snake who had a ton of moss growing on it. I think that wasn't actually natural. I think normally they have a very little amount of moss, but this one for some reason had just accumulated like a ton. Yeah, I think eventually they did help it out, but it was very weird to see in the water. Yeah, that's when you're on a non-pool type of water source, you know, in a lake or in the ocean or whatever. Everything is so dangerous. Like, especially if you're not used to it, everything it just feels so dangerous to you because you know, like you'll have like algae or whatever, and you'll feel like you're being attacked by some animal. Okay. Let's see. Is that a tattoo or... How easy would it be to get, like, tattoos onto a scaly surface? Yeah, because you have to wonder, right? Like, human skin acts the way it does with tattoos, because you're essentially putting ink beneath the layer of your skin. That's what a tattoo is, you're putting ink beneath your skin. It's a little gross, but, like, scientifically speaking, it's a little bit gross, but, you know, it makes sense. Because the tattoo is subdermal, it doesn't actually wash out when you shed your skin, which is why it lasts so long. But, you know, for lizard folks, I imagine it, I suppose, would be the terminology. For lizard folk, they would shed their skin every now and again, right? So, like, oh yeah, more art fight time. Hey, how you doing, bunny? Defying gravity, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know how tattoos would work for lizard folks. Would they just have to get, like, touched up every time they shed their skin? I don't think they actually answered, like, how often Dragonborn would shed. Which is probably for the best, because I imagine, like, otherwise it'd be, like, become, like, a whole gameplay mechanic. You know, like, oh yeah, I can get dragon armor, dragon skin armor, because I have, like, a Dragonborn character and he's shedding right now. And... you know, like, I feel like that'll just get into a lot of rules lawyering, like, no, you don't have dragon skin armor, it's just about as thick as your normal skin. You could turn it into a nice leather handbag, though. You know, that'd be a plus. If you do have, like, skin that sheds like that, you could essentially make handbags, and jackets even, out of your own skin. Which would be tremendously morbid, but also kind of cool, you know? That's how you go truly cruelty-free product. Alright, here we go. How is it possible that every now and again I just end up discussing cannibalism on stream? It happens a worrying amount of times. Anyway, changing topics extremely quickly before somebody has a chance to do a straight man funny man bit with that whole sentence. Let's see what I got on the news docket today. Oh yeah. The other day my town had its Pride Parade, which is a lot of fun. I didn't intend to go to it because I had no idea that it was happening. I like they don't put posters up saying when the Pride Parade is going to be here. You know, you just kind of have to end up, you know, you have to end up being part of the organization of the event, or you kind of just luck into it. And that's what happened with me and my friend. We just went out to eat and get some curry, and we ended up seeing, like, oh hey, there's the actual Pride Parade going on. So, you know, we stuck around for a while. We wanted to see what was up. No less than 3 times did somebody did one of the floats play Dancing Queen. 2 of them played. I think at least 2 of them played YMCA as well. But you know, they're good songs. I like them. They're fun. Also, I gained a newfound respect for the 2 furries that I saw in the crowd. On separated floats, I might add. Like, there was one for a local convention. Somebody was in full fursuit for a local convention. and somebody else was in full fursuit. I think it was one of the universities. I don't think it was their mascot because it had that, you know, very kind of unique furry look to it. It wasn't a mascot costume. I saw mascot costumes and they don't have that kind of like production value. I feel like I made these eyes too big, and maybe too wide as well. Just shrink those down a little bit. There we go. You know, it's freaky to me to think that, like, snakes have, you know, snakes and other lizards have, be who you are for your pride. Yeah, exactly. Are these eyebrows? I think these are eyebrows. But yeah, God bless those two people in full fursuits, because they were really doing the most out here. It doesn't get that hot out here, but it does get very hot. So God bless them for that dedication of theirs. But yeah, it's weird to think that all animals technically have sclera like that. Like, you know, this little bit right here, it would be in white, and I don't know why that upsets me so much. God, that reminds me also of somebody who posted a picture of their dog who had like very, very pale blue eyes, so much so that the dog kind of looked... Hang on, I'm gonna like draw a rendition of it. It was like a dachshund, like a furry dachshund, but essentially the dog had, you know how normally dogs have like black or brown sclera or something like that, and usually they only really get like, you can only really see their peepers if they're like looking, like really giving you the side eye. Well, this dog, this dog had like very, very, very pale blue sclera, so it kind of looked like this. In a very freaky way, in a very off-putting way. You know, you talk about your uncanny valley, right? Like, you talk about stuff that doesn't feel right, kind of fundamentally based on our understanding of how the human anatomy works, or how anatomy works. But I think like that's the strongest feeling of uncanny valley that I've ever felt looking at that dog. Oh, hey. Oh, it was a TikTok. I see. Yeah, Bunny just posted a link to the TikTok they were referencing, and now I understand. Neck. Yeah, that's another thing that I've always been interested in with characters like this who don't really have, you know, they have a head, obviously. That's like a whole head right there, but as opposed to half a head. No, but they do have like an entire head, and how that relates to neck meat has always been a bit of a challenge for me. Okay. Got it. Huge eyebrows. I love it. Like, I imagine having just huge ass eyebrows affixed to your head. Wait, I don't have to imagine that. That's literally what I got right here. I turned up the eyebrow sensitivity the other day, so now I can like wiggle my I don't know what to call it. The mouth of the sack? I don't know. It's always felt weird to like refer to that part of me, because no matter what, it's gonna sound like a little bit like I'm trying to use some kind of innuendo. I've always thought about like calling it the sack lid or the sack mouth or something like that. Either way, I don't like to think about it too much, but I can wiggle it around now, which is interesting. Okay, that probably looks a little weird as well. I'm gonna stop doing that. Okay, the other horn. Okay, let's see here. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, so then I am gonna do it in the adventuring outfit because on that feels like it's a lot more action-y than the formal outfit. Or it's the normal versus the formal. That's just day wear. It really is funny to me when people, how do I put this? It's funny to me when people have just normal D&D characters, but they don't have any other outfit for their characters besides their kind of armor attire. So whenever you kind of see art of them, or you kind of think of them in different situations, you can't help but picture them doing it in their entire whole ass suit of armor. So, if this is just your normal outfit, I'm just imagining sitting, you're out the town one day, you're going to your local kebab guy. You sit down, you take a seat down at the bench, you pay 3 copper pieces for like a kebab or something. I don't know how expensive kebabs would be. A kebab would run you in D&D. But you get yourself a kebab, and immediately some other 8-foot-tall dragonborn dude sits at the other end of the bench, nearly sends you flying with the momentum, and immediately also orders a single kebab. And every single time he goes to lift up his arm to take a bite, you can just hear the armor clanking underneath the I keep forgetting what these things are called. Gambesons? Yeah, gambesons. No, they're definitely called gambesons, but I keep forgetting what they're called. It's one of those things that I keep forgetting the names of, even though I like it a lot. Yeah, once upon a time, a starry-eyed and definitely in over his head Pablo tried to think about how to make a gambeson, with the limited materials that he had. It never ended up working out, but I do admire my own tenacity for thinking that I could do it. Sometimes it's not about even actually pulling off an idea. It's about having the audacity to imagine that you could. That's been a lot of the cases with me. I remember in my freshman year of university, I was thinking to myself, oh man, the meals at the food hall are just atrocious. Is there something I could use to cook? And obviously the answer is no. You should never, unless you have a kitchenette or something in your dorm, you should try to avoid, any kind of large scale cooking inside of your dorm room. First of all, because it can very, very easily set off your fire alarm, and then you're the hateful asshole who forced everybody to kind of trundle out of the building for up to about an hour because you wanted to make some fucking Hot Pockets in your goddamn university dorm air fryer. Actually, come to think of it, an air fryer might be the perfect appliance for a university dorm room. It's a little loud, sure, but not very smoky unless you really fuck up. Not very versatile. Handles frozen foods. Handles already cooked foods. It's actually pretty good. You might, thinking about it logically, if you have a refrigerator and a microwave and a air fryer, you're basically set in terms of meals. See, that's the kind of dangerous thought and ideology that really needs to be reined in when you're trying to make these potentially life-changing decisions. The university boarding society doesn't need a fucking bag of rice who thinks he's hot shit just because he got an air fryer on their case. Anyway, back to the story. When I was in my freshman year of university, I wanted to try and get something to cook. I was very desperate for things to cook with because I actually do like cooking quite a bit. And I especially love baking. I really love baking. I love baking sweets. Although tragically, I've kind of lost my sweet tooth, so I don't do that so often anymore. But I still like doing it. Let's see what else. Yeah, I liked cooking, so it was kind of tough for me, especially if the meal halls were closed, to kind of get a bite to eat. So what ended up happening is that one day I went to a Walmart. And for a good hour or so, I was just kind of posted out in that Walmart because I wanted to. Essentially, what I was thinking of doing was buying a slow cooker, ingredients to store the slow cooker in. That did not come out right. Ingredients to use in the slow cooker, and obviously, you know, slow cook something, because why not? And for a good hour or so, I was just like picking up different things, planning out the logistics of this, until I eventually realized, wait, no, this is really stupid and could potentially be pretty dangerous. Let's not do it. And then I put everything back. Very anticlimactic end, but like, considering that the alternative ending would have involved me potentially setting fire to my university through sheer incompetence, I feel like maybe I got off lightly. God, could you imagine, though? Okay, how... Alright, so the bracer, right? Okay, I think I see where I went wrong. I kind of went a little too thick with it. Alright, I think the way we do this, right? I don't know how thick this man's arms are. They might be very thick, they might be very thin. I think the way to do it is to kind of go layer by layer a little, almost. Almost. So first we'll have the kind of like arm warmers underneath the bracers. The padding, essentially. Paddington Bear. We'll have the padding here. How long is that? Okay, so that is from like almost elbow to forearm, huh? Makes sense. You don't want to be blocking dudes all cool. Like, bracers, you know, if you think of like Wonder Woman, right? You think of those shiny metal bracers she's got on her that are supposed to be able to like block bullets and everything. And those are very cool. Like, I'm not gonna pretend like those aren't really rad, but when you consider also that, you know, you have to be able to hit that very kind of narrow area, they suddenly become a lot less appealing, to me at least. You know, the idea that if I go maybe a little, like a couple centimeters off course, they're just gonna break my arm is not a super fun thought. Hell, if it's enough force, it might still break my arm, even if I do hit the sweet spot, because, you know, the force could be just enough that it just like takes, you know, it just kind of like, you know, if you have like an unbreakable object here, right? And you have like soft flesh on either side, at a certain point, that unbreakable object is going to stop being like a defense mechanism and it's going to start becoming leverage. Think of it as like a ring involution, but with weird magic bullshit items. Don't look up ring involutions if you are queasy, by the way. Don't do that to yourself. But yeah, that's all. Like, that's the same reason you take off bracelets and such when you're doing sports. You know, it's why you take off earrings when you go play tennis or some shit, because, you know, a stray tall. What the fuck am I saying? A stray tennis ball could, like, you know, go flying, go zooming past your ear. One of the little fuzzy bits catches on the earring, bam! Now you've got a very stylish new ear. Well, no, you don't have an ear anymore, essentially, if that happens. So yeah, be careful out there. Be responsible and take off your accessories and such before doing any kind of heavy-duty sports. I wonder if that's also why you don't wear watches. I think tennis players wear watches. No, I think they just get sponsored by watch brands. I think that's why, but like, that's why I associated tennis players with watches. But I don't think they actually wear them to the court unless they're real big assholes. I think the only kind of exception to this whole thing is maybe golfers. And, you know, I don't respect golf as a sport, so... Yeah, whenever you do, like, serious sports, take off your rings and accessories and such. Okay. There we go. Yeah, just have it kind of closer to the actual skin here, or the actual meat here. Here we go. Oop, forgot about this part here. Oh yeah. Speaking of actually I forgot what I was talking about, but I'm just gonna move on to a story that I read earlier anyway. Apparently they might be starting to use robot umpires for baseball soon, which is an interesting thought. And by robot umpires, I don't mean that they'll be getting rid of the funny little men who yell "Steve Reich" on the field, right? I mean, the robots will essentially make the umpire calls, and the umpire will relay that to the humans. Which honestly is I think is maybe the funniest way you could go about it. You know, you can still like like that's really funny to me because a lot of like sports fans, right? From what I've seen, it's kind of a classic joke that if a sports fan is unhappy with the umpire's call, they'll be like, "Ref, what are you doing? Ref, are you blind?" etc., etc. So the fact that like the ref can now just kind of innocently point at a nearby robot whenever he makes an unpopular call, that's just very funny to me. Like, hey, don't blame me. I'm just a guy that yells Steve Reich. All right. If you want somebody to tear the throat out of, the robot is right there. And let me tell you, they equipped it to be able to carry like 3 baseball bats at once. That thing is like a menace. So I wouldn't fancy my chances with it, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that also has some strange implications for pro wrestling, though. If robotic umpires become popular enough, I imagine that it actually might get fed into professional wrestling to some extent, because then you can have like, how do I put it? Like maybe part of like the ring interference or kind of playing dirty would be just hacking the robot umpire. We might be able to see. I don't know. Has there been a wrestler in the history of wrestling? There probably has been. There's as many wrestlers as there are stars, with just as many gimmicks. But I wonder if there's explicitly been a wrestler themed after being a hacker. I feel like we need that representation these days. Okay. There we go. It's so bright outside. Yeah, over here it's gotten to be that time of the year where the sun doesn't set until it's like 9 p.m. So very often, I stream relatively late in my time, but very often I'll be kind of just starting to stream as the sun is starting to set. So what ends up happening is that, in a kind of final hurrah, the sun will attempt to blind me at random intervals throughout my evening. Which is fine, I can... My eyes are... I don't have eyes, first of all, so that's a big help as well, in not getting blinded. Yeah, if you try to, like, do it in those action movies, to throw dirt in somebody's face to kind of blind them temporarily while you get a couple hits in, that's still going to work on me because I'm just going to be kind of spitting out like because I'll be worried that I'd have accidentally caught some of the dirt in my mouth, and you can still sucker punch me during that moment. Yeah, I don't really like the idea of getting blinded. It kind of sucks, generally speaking, to kind of lose one of your 5 senses, even temporarily. Okay, does that make sense? I'm gonna go with no. Okay, I'm gonna just kind of firm that up right there. Perfect. Ooh. Okay. Then I think the best thing to do is maybe start on the other arm, because we're going to be working with that as well. Okay. Yeah, I just need to make one... I just need to settle down with like maybe the Clip Studio modeler or whatever one of these days, and just decide, you know, just make a proper kind of like holding like a weapon handle kind of gesture, because I feel like maybe this is inappropriate a little bit because you've got the thumb on the outside there. Yeah, I don't know how it is with handling weapons. It probably is the same, but you know, when you make a fist, you're supposed to tuck your thumb in underneath your fingers. So essentially, instead of doing this, you'd be going more like this. You know, not really grabbing onto your thumb or anything, but you know, just kind of like one for a second. Yeah, so just kind of like tucking it in underneath your between your first and second knuckle, essentially. I don't know if that's how you'd also hold a weapon. You know, when you are given something with a handle, it's very natural to just kind of hold it normally. It's not exactly rocket science to grab hold of something with a handle. Unless it's one of those fucking pistols type fencing foils. Those look like they're meant for some kind of alien digits, or perhaps, you know, maybe meant to be held with a tentacle or something. Yeah. If you've never seen a pistol grip fencing foil before, I can pull one up right now. But yeah, pistol grip fencing foils. When you have a sport... Fencing foil. Yeah, when you have a sport where the primary means of attack is thrusting, you end up with a handle that's very comfortable to thrust with, which ends up looking a little bit like this. So essentially the idea is that you're just kind of poking them. Yeah, you can see that they've got a handle back here to hold it like you would a normal sword, right? So if you have like your thumb here, that's how you'd hold it like a normal sword, but they also have this other kind of pistol grip right here, so that you can hold it like this. Hey Van, how you doing? And you know, stab that way. Yeah, honestly, I like looking at these things. They're just very freaky looking. Yeah, how you doing today? Okay. We're gonna kind of end up going like that. Yeah, I'm glad that this person didn't give the metal sword too many embellishments. Doing good, slightly buff and slaying zombies. Nice, nice, nice. Which game are you playing? Resident Evil? Man, I want to play Resident Evil 4 on stream again. Actually, I've never played Resident Evil 4 on stream, but I have played Resident Evil 4. Honestly, a very important game to me, because first of all, because it's one of the few games where you can just straight up suplex somebody. That somebody being the enemy monsters, of course. And second of all, it's very important to me because it's a game I remember from my childhood. Not because I played it, but because my cousin and my brother played it one time during a sleepover, and I got so scared of it. Yeah. Thankfully, I'm made out of slightly firmer stuff now, and I don't get so easily scared by gore and zombie horror anymore. At least I'd like to think so. I'm still kind of a coward at heart. Now I'm playing COD Cold War Zombies. I wish I could play Resident Evil 4. I think a lot of people feel that way. Yeah. I still technically have the... I think I still technically have the Wii version. Yeah, my cousin and my brother played the GameCube version, but after he upgraded to a Wii, he managed to get his hands on a copy of the Wii version. Yeah, that's the version I beat the game on as well. Yeah, he gave them to me after he switched over to a PlayStation. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Resident Evil 4 is so much fun. Okay, and then we're gonna have just a little bit of the... What is this, like... undershirt? Yeah, I guess you could call that an undershirt. It might be a gambeson. I don't know. He could be wearing a overcoat over a gambeson. That'd be kind of ballin', actually. You know, it's kind of like a Highlander style leather coat, leather jacket. gambits underneath, you would look kitted as hell. Although you'd only probably be able to wear such a combination in wintertime. In the summertime, you've essentially turned your entire body into a huge sauna. So, congratulations on that. Although on the bright side, at least the Gambison will absorb most of the sweat. Not all of it, but most of it. So at least you won't ruin the leather. Yeah, you gotta take the W's where you can get them. Let's see. And over here. Perfect. Oh yeah. So here's the thing, right? Recently a lot of stuff has been everybody has been feeling the effects of inflation. Supermarkets are raising prices higher than the actual inflation rate, which is awful, and it makes food that much harder to buy. Not that food was easy to keep expenses up before, but it does make it much more expensive than it needs to be, which sucks because it's one of those things where you have to buy no matter what because you need it to live. God, I really want to punch whoever pitched the idea that we should charge money for inelastic goods. I mean, yes, they made a lot of money, but I also want to punch them still. Yeah, was it worth it? Honestly. Anyway, I've been reading about this inflation stuff, right? And apparently, because of the inflation stuff, in the US, an average of 4.1%, most people are going to experience, collectively, on average, there is going to be a 4.1% raise in, people are going to get a 4.1% raise. They're gonna make 4.1% more because of inflation. And while that's nice, it's still less than the actual inflation rate, so nothing's really getting solved. Yeah. Although that being said, Costco hot dogs and a soda are still $1.50, so that's always nice. It's nice to know that there are truly some constants in the world. Yeah, apparently the reason that Costco is able to still make them so cheap, somebody did the math, and apparently the Costco combo... Oh, posture check. Thank you. I shall uncurl my spine from its gargoyle-like pose. Anyway, apparently nowadays, adjusted for inflation, the Costco hot dog and soda combo should run you $4.13. But they're still selling it at $1.50, mainly because and this was pointed out by the CEO, because Costco makes most of their money off of their subscription, maintaining that goodwill with the customer, which comes from keeping the prices low for the hot dogs, is infinitely more valuable than whatever kind of money they could make from the food court. So yes, it's a utilitarian thing, but it's still nice to know that, that $1.50 at Costco hot dog is not going anywhere anytime soon. Although what I seriously want nowadays is a slice of Costco pizza. I mentioned it before that my family used to live in a place that wasn't too close to a Costco, but we still went there mainly because it had a lot of import goods that we really needed. Not to mention it was just kind of cheap on the whole, because again, you buy it wholesale. So every few months or so, we'd all kind of pack ourselves into the car and we'd take a day-long trip to Costco. The only thing that was longer than the car rides was actually packing everything away once we got home. But the clearest thing that I remember from those days is that I always got to eat a slice of the big pizza at the end of the shopping trip. Yeah, I'd just be able to tuck into one of those bad boys and it would make the whole experience feel so much better. That much better, honestly. I loved going to Costco as a kid. It's fun seeing all the stupid crap that you don't need on the shelves. You're like, yay, colorful product, and then you move on because you don't want to lose track of your parents in this huge ass, almost non-Euclidean shopping mall. It's not really a shopping mall, and it's also hardly non-Euclidean. It does still have 4 walls last time I checked, but the principle of the matter. is non-Euclidean. Yes, fuck yeah, that sounded so smart. High five, right? I think it's healthy for you to admit when you're bullshitting people, because first of all, you don't end up lying, which is always a plus. But also it's like, you know, I don't know how to put it. Like, it's just good to be honest. I like being honest. I like not having to worry about like whether or not I've lied about something. Let's see. What was I doing? Right, I just line width. Right, process whole line. Just send these parts out a little bit. Hey, don't go changing my worldview of Costco. Too late. Yeah, you actually do see that. Again, I'm lying here, but you do see that when I you know, when I set up my chat. You know, when you like go into a streamer's chat, and when you are there for the first time, it kind of lays out the ground rules. You know, don't be bigoted, don't be homophobic, don't be a dick. Essentially, mine has there in very small script at the bottom. You are by following this channel, you are agreeing to have your worldviews on Costco changed. So yeah, I'm afraid you've already signed the contract, my friend. This deal is sealed. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll put one of the pauldrons up here. I should have read the fine print. Rookie mistake, Ben. Rookie mistake. That's how they get you. All right, you gotta be a cutthroat bag of rice to make it in this world. Yeah, you have to be willing to risk it all in the world of internet micro celebrities. Okay, let's see. Okay. I think from there the next thing to do would be... I kept thinking that this was just a guy sticking out his tongue like this. You know, he was just kind of like doing a little bit kind of thing. But no, that's just like some kind of signature or logo right there. I was not aware of that. I thought this dude was just straight up sticking out his tongue. Okay. Let's see, then right over here. But yeah. Got it. To give you an idea, right, of the kind of inflation that the US at least has experienced over the past, what, 60 years? Apparently since 1960, the inflation itself is 888% up. And if you're bad with numbers like I am, that essentially means that $1 in 1960 is $9.88 today. Yeah, you know, in Chinese numerology, 8 is supposed to be a very lucky number, but I don't think that's lucky at all. Yeah, it's not great. But you know, life goes on. And hopefully we all find jobs where we can make that cheddar. Alright. Yeah, I mean, I found employment like a long time ago now. God, do you remember when my biggest concern... I remember that for a good time when I was just like starting out streaming, my biggest concern was finding employment. Yeah, you know, I started streaming around the time I started taking a new course, essentially. It wasn't a university course, but it was kind of like a postgraduate course almost, I'd call it. But I started taking it when I started streaming just when I was about to start doing that. And at that point, I was out of university for, what, like 6 months almost? And during that entire time, I'd been job hunting. And not a single hit back. Like, I got like maybe one interview in those 6 months, but that was like it. I'm very lucky to have the job that I have now. I'm happy at my job. Sure, I get some very stressful days, and there's always overtime to be done, but that's very rare, and I actually do find it very fulfilling to learn what I'm doing. So I'm very grateful for my job, and I hope everybody can find one that they enjoy just as much as I enjoy mine. Let's see. But yeah, I remember that the winter that the winter that I got my job, I was actually really putting some effort into it, and I think maybe that paid off a little bit, because what I did was that I actually talked to a university counselor. My university is very nice in that they let you use a lot of the counseling services, particularly career counseling, like way after you've graduated. So if you're in a dire strait, or you don't know how to friggin' send a how to put together a resume. I learned how to put together a resume as one of my university courses. I think it was a communications class. I'm sorry. It was a communications class. But yeah, that's where I learned to put together a resume. But these folks, they helped me out. They helped me to do a mock interview. They helped me to kind of refine my pitch and everything. It was a very helpful experience. So if you get the opportunity to try that out, I very highly recommend it. Yeah, particularly because they actually managed to clue me into a lot of stuff that I didn't understand. So, for example, one of the tips that they gave me was that, especially for people who are just coming out of university, new employers don't really look at your skills because you don't have any. You're not expected to have experience fresh out of university. Well, I mean, obviously that it varies from place to place, but if they're hiring you fresh out of university, they don't expect you to have super relevant experience. Maybe an internship here or there, but if it's like a position with no prior experience, what they'll be looking for isn't actually your courses or anything. I mean, obviously those will be important. Those will be your ability to demonstrate that you have the technical skills for it. But what might be even more important is being able to show that you're a good fit with their current team. So that's where learning about the places that you're being hired at, learning their maybe their vision statement. Particularly, to clarify, this is all in the context of trying to find a job in a corporate sphere. I'm not sure how it is trying to find a job anywhere else because I haven't had experience job hunting anywhere else. But no, I imagine that it kind of works in that regard as well. If you're trying to become a line cook somewhere, they're gonna want to be able to know if you can roll with the team or not. Whether or not you're gonna be able to vibe with them, because otherwise it's gonna be very difficult to kind of get you acquainted with the kind of already existing team ecosystem in place, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's one thing. The other thing is that you should really look into, for example, what the maybe hiring policies are for the place that you're trying to get hired at. So I know for a fact that I tried to get into an accounting firm several times, but then I learned that apparently their policy is that they only hire people. If they're hiring university graduates, they're only going to hire graduates who have been in an internship with them. Otherwise they're not even going to look at your resume. And I didn't know this. I'd sent 6 different resumes to them over the years, and you know, after I learned that, I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't try with them again. I tried with some other companies, and that worked out much better. Okay. And over here. Yeah. Here we go. Upcurling in here. Yeah. Earlier today, I had it out of. I have a very specific routine to get to work. Oh wait, does he have spines on his back, on like the back of his neck as well? That'll... Okay, that changes things a little bit. Just a little bit though. I'm just gonna like add one there. Yeah, I have a very specific routine for getting to work. But sometimes I maybe don't get that routine as precisely as I want to. Essentially, I ended up oversleeping today because I have to... My kind of usual work day is that I wake up at like 7:20, 7:30 or so, make myself breakfast, get dressed, get combed, get my teeth brushed and everything, and then head out the door by 8:10. And today I ended up sleeping until like 7:40, so I was like, okay, fuck, skip breakfast, get something on the way, and just roll with it. So that's what I did. I kind of left my apartment very suddenly, and I actually tried out a new place. It's this sandwich place. They also have some soups, I believe, but they mainly deal in like artisanal sandwiches and all that. And I had one of the best smoked meat sandwiches I've ever had in my life. Granted, I've only had like 3, but you know, it was kind of the best among them, which is nice. You know, it had a little bit of mustard, it had some pickle, it had some spinach. It was nice. It was nice. I enjoyed it. Okay. Okay, so I think the way to do this is to maybe almost like... no, hang on, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. But it's kind of like iron plate mail in the middle. There we go. No, hang on, that line doesn't make any sense. Okay, that's more like it though. Okay, then from there... Here we go. Yeah, this isn't too tight. Like, dude's actually got a very nice waistline, actually. Look at that. But... okay, so then it's gonna kind of end up like this. There we go. Should drink some water. Oh yeah. I learned recently that apparently more and more people have been using TikTok as a search engine. I think that's actually pretty easy to believe, but you know, if they're looking for a restaurant in the area, or you know, they're looking for like some kind of place in the area, they're actually very likely to use TikTok as a normal search engine. So like, they would look up like restaurants near me or something, and or they just look up. I'm not sure how TikTok works, by the way. I haven't downloaded it yet, but I am, from what I understand, it's a very popular application. Okay, hang on. How does this part here work? Okay, I see. Anyway, so people will essentially look up, restaurants, shops, and stuff like that on TikTok instead of maybe using Google or some other kind of means of searching it up. Like the phone book, I suppose. I don't know. Besides Google, Yelp, and all those kind of different applications, I'm not sure how people would just like find shops. I mean, obviously there's word of mouth, and there's advertisements, flyers, and also just good old using your eyes to look around and see if like maybe you have like a specialty shop nearby that could cater to you. Yeah, I think it would have been much more difficult to drum up a business in kind of the pre-modern internet age, because nowadays you just kind of need a reliably popular TikTok account. I know for example that a twin pair of women's university basketball or college basketball players, they actually have a fairly successful clothing brand because they have like 5 million followers on TikTok. Okay, here we go. Is that a little pouch in there? Oh, that's adorable. Such a little pouch. Are you keeping your spare change in there? Look at that. That's always flabbergasted me. Like, what are you supposed to keep in these tiny little pockets? Because I know that in some jeans, right, you'll have like, you'll have your pants there, you'll have like the belt loops here, right? There's probably not that many. And you'll have the pocket here, and they'll give you like a secondary pocket right here that you can barely fit a couple fingers into. I've been told that this pocket here is for loose change, but that cannot be right? Like that can't be possible. Coins will not fit in there. At least I don't feel like they should. I don't know. It's actually been quite a while since I've thought about coins. I know that I brought them up the other day, and that like there's supposed to be like $1 billion worth of coins across American households. But I don't really think about them day to day. Nowadays you use your credit card and like tap to pay and all that kind of nonsense to pay for everything. It's actually quite hard to get your hands on spare change. Okay, so this looks like it's just a normal kind of like belt decoration here. Here we go. But yeah. Come on. Come on. I know this line's in me. I know I can get it out there. There we go. Okay, then from there, what we can do is figure out how this back part is going to work. It looks like it's just a giant kind of V-shaped swallowtail coat here. There's no real like middle part to it, so that's going to make it a little bit easier to figure out. Oh yeah, not to mention the tail. The tail is probably very important. Okay, I think maybe the tail should curl like this way. Also, it should probably go above the belt, maybe? No. I mean, I don't know, because in my eye, right, the fact that it has like this kind of swallowtail design speaks to me that the tail is maybe kind of perched on the very kind of tip of it, like that. It just seems like the most sensible kind of configuration for this arrangement. So I guess that would mean, but like then it would be a little bit low, so... Maybe I can like lift up this part here. No, that doesn't make sense with the rest of the belt. Come on, brain. You got this. Yeah, tail logistics and clothing is almost a hobby topic of mine to think about. Because there has to... I imagine that the same thing can't be comfortable for everybody. So I imagine that there are, like... You know, assuming there are people who do end up having tails. I wonder if, like you would have to have, like, different configurations. So, like, for example, there are people who have, like, a strap over top, you know, to kind of, like, modify the clothes for the tail. Then there are people who just, like, have it underneath normal clothing. And then there are people who just, like, straight up ride with their pants low enough to, you know, compensate for it. Yeah, I remember seeing a post discussing that one time. Okay, then this is gonna kind of curve inward like this. No, I don't like that. Ooh. Well, careful there, bub. Okay, so I think what maybe I can do is to maybe, like, change the angle of it, and that might change it up a little bit. Yep. How thin does it get towards the end? Okay, so it does kind of taper out very neatly. Alright, good to know. We'll figure that out in a little bit, but for the rest of this thing... Come on, bud. There we go. Okay, I think that'll do it. A funny problem that I've had recently is that I have two fans in my house. One that's like a fairly tall standing fan, a fairly nice one actually, that I got that looks a little bit like this. And you know, it has like a curved surface up here too. And it's got like a couple buttons here. You know, it's serviceable, it's useful, it's it puts out air at a frankly fantastic rate. And more recently though, I've gotten myself a kind of dinky little desk fan that you can just kind of... Why can't I select anything? Oh, I'm on the wrong subtool. I've gotten myself a small kind of dinky little desk fan that has like one of those like clamp attachments so that you can like put it anywhere. Very useful, very useful. I have it on right now. You can hardly tell because of my noise suppression, or maybe you can tell precisely because of my noise suppression. But I have it on right now, and it's doing me pretty nicely. But anyway, a funny problem that I've had with the desk one is that recently I've realized that because it essentially vibrates whenever it rotates, and because right now the kind of setup that I have it in is that, you know, this is my desk. I am right here, and the desk fan is clamped to one of the legs on the table right here. So it's like kind of hitting me in the belly zone. Because that way it doesn't dry out my eyes so much. And you know, I kind of hate having dry eyes. I have dry eyes now. Like I said, it doesn't dry them out so much. But you know, it's not like it's not possible to completely nullify that. Unfortunately, not with our technology, at least, not with the level of technology we have right now. This is all to say that because it kind of shakes a little each time it, you know, as it's on, the kind of rotations of the blades make it shake a little bit, and because it's shaking like that, little by little, it just kind of droops down, down the table leg. So eventually, I'll be like, oh man, it's kind of hot. Why do I feel a breeze on my ankles? And then I'll look down, and the fan is practically on the floor. I need to make the tail longer. Just a little bit longer. There we go. Okay, and then from there... Yeah, it's so messed up that most lizards, I think except maybe for snakes, but most lizards can detach their tails as a defense mechanism. That's always seemed very messed up to me. Like imagine if you could get so nervous that your arm fell off. Or like one of your legs fell off. Like you got so nervous and anxious because, like, you know, maybe there's like a bigger, slightly weirder looking human around, prowling around trying to eat you, and like as a defense mechanism, your arm just falls off. It's gotta be awkward, right? I think I do know that most of them can do that can regrow it though, so it's more like maybe like you drop a nail or something. You know, in terms of like how serious it is. Okay, then from there... Let's see... What is this kind of... Okay, so it kind of... Hang on. Where does this middle part come from? Hold up. I think I found a flaw. I mean, obviously it's attached to the belt. I could see that happening. But because it's the same color as the rest of the jacket, it threw me off for a second. Okay. Yeah, that really threw me off pretty badly there for a second. Okay. And over here, that's going to kind of come down like that. Over here. Okay. Yeah, then we can just kind of like cover up the tail a little bit like that for the rest for this part. Okay, and then kind of like that. Okay, not bad, but I feel like we can do better. Let's see. Okay. So then over here, then... but that'll really obscure the foot. Well, you could probably see the other one, though, but... I don't know, something about this doesn't feel right. Not to mention it looks very weird in terms of, like, physics. Okay. Yeah, I think maybe we need to throw out the whole suitcase for this one. Okay, maybe we can start with the other one. Maybe that'll kind of inform how we're doing this. Yeah, I think that might be a good idea. Okay. So this one here. Oh, I know what would be interesting. So maybe like it can be like propped up almost by the end of the tail here. Okay. No, hang on. That also feels weird. There's not enough tail there to like feasibly prop it up is the thing. Alright. I could just like make it fling backwards. That'd be an easy way out. I'll have to consider that if I don't come up with an idea that I like. And I don't want to start by drawing off. I don't want to start off by drawing the legs either, because then if I do end up covering them with the jacket, it'll be kind of a waste, right? Okay, what about... I mean, I don't even necessarily need it to make it go to the floor. I could just have it be like that. You know, just kind of almost menacing to touch the floor. That could work. Then maybe... Okay, so then maybe it'll fall down like that. I mean, almost kind of like be draped across the foot a little bit? Yes? No? Maybe so? I think that'll work, actually. Hang on. We'll try to go with that right now. For now. No, not across the foot. Okay, what about... Maybe like that? I mean, that's alright, but again, I'm not very satisfied with it. There we go. Okay. Then what else could I do? Okay, closer. I feel it. I feel like we're getting closer to the answer here. Okay, there we go. We cracked the code. Okay, this is it. Here we go. Sometimes figuring out how to draw something is like a little puzzle, and you do get that hit of serotonin boost once you solve it. And that reminds me, I really need to finish Professor Layton. I started that game in like what, January, and I haven't touched it since I got to like the very nearly last part of it. I was too busy playing Elite Beat Agents. Yeah. I think I also started playing Drill Dozer at that point. God, I had a lot of fun with Drill Dozer, but my DS has a thing where it can't use the right bumper, and you kind of need that almost crucially for that game. So that unfortunately that was just a love that was not meant to be. It was fun though. It was a fun game when I could play it. Yeah, the left bumper was fine, but you needed the right bumper for a lot of things, so it ended up not really working out. Okay, so this would be his butt, and this would be the part of the jacket that's kind of swinging on over like this, and then it's kind of just draped over his other leg. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Then, okay. Wait, is that supposed to be the logo there? No, I really don't know what this red part is. Is that like the inside of his mouth, maybe? Or maybe that's the artist's signature. I think that's probably the artist's signature, huh? Okay. I should drink some water too. Okay. Thankfully, the rest of this should be fairly straightforward. I know how to draw pants, alright, and a sword. I know how to draw pants and swords. Two of my favorite things to draw, honestly. No, I'm just kidding. I don't like to draw pants that much. I'm good at drawing pants, but I don't like them so much. They're not my favorite part of art because the thing with pants is that, like, the thing with fashion in general, right, is that you have to like, a lot of fashion is based around maintaining a silhouette. So the reason that people don't like, for example, like fanny packs or something like that is okay, so like say you have a person right here, right? Forgive the weird Squidward arm, but like, so like, why am I having so much trouble drawing like a stick figure person? So you have like a random silhouette of like a person here, right? You know, perfectly serviceable, this looks like a normal dude. The kind of idea behind a lot of fashion, from what I understand, is to help preserve and emphasize that silhouette. So, for example, something like for example, a well-tailored suit, would just kind of like clamp onto that silhouette, right? You know, it shouldn't look too bulky. It should just look like it's part of you, you know? That's the kind of idea behind a suit. And, you know, that makes sense. It looks tight. But then, you know, say you introduce like a fanny pack into the mix, then suddenly that silhouette is broken, and that's why they're seen as like unfashionable. You know, it not only breaks the silhouette in kind of like a general sense, but also like if you're wearing a shirt, it'll kind of like bunch up there in weird ways. You know, your pants might look strange. That's why it's quote unquote unfashionable to use fanny packs. I love fanny packs. I love them. But, you know, maybe instead of that, that's why they have like those like sideways backpacks, because that intrudes on the silhouette quite a bit less. But yeah, the issue with pants is that there's only so much you can do with them, you know, get so crazy with them before you kind of interrupt the silhouette. Because if you think about it, even like bottoms have a specific emphasis on silhouette. All right, so like bell bottoms were really popular. Bell bottoms were really popular during the disco era, and that made sense because part of the disco fashion thing was wearing like platform boots. So, you know, if you were really good at dancing with platform shoes on, the kind of bells on the pants kind of sway around, and that would emphasize your kind of dexterity with foot movement, in a way. At least that's what I think. That's what I understand of the whole fashion trend with that. So yeah, you can see here that, like I said, in the character, the OptylArt has a very good idea of like the silhouette here, because you can very clearly see that it's just like a top-heavy character right here. But that's why you also can't get super creative, I feel, with certain clothes, particularly pants, because if you have a shirt, right? If you have a shirt, you can have like an almost Frankensteinian silhouette. Because so long as the pants are kind of relatively normal, it's still easy to kind of retain a silhouette. Conversely, if you have like really, really baggy pants on a character, you need to have a very skinny shirt, you know, or you need to have like you know, you can't just have like a medium thick shirt. Like, you can't have baggy pants and like kind of like a regular hoodie, for example, because then, you know, it'll actually no, that's actually forget everything I just said. There's no rules. You can do whatever the hell you want. I'm just pointing out like things that like I've heard and maybe relate to why I feel maybe uncomfortable doing certain things. I think that's the best way to put it. Like I don't know anything about fashion, all right? I am not super competent with that kind of thing. It's not my wheelhouse by any means. So when I hear from somebody fashionable, like, oh yeah, it's about the silhouette, I immediately go, okay, I'm going to take their advice. I'm going to try to retain that silhouette. You know, but you might have a different experience. You might have more knowledge of fashion, have a little bit more confidence in your kind of sense of it, and you might be able to pull off something that only you can make. And that'll be great too. But I don't have that same kind of confidence in kind of like, in terms of fashion. All my characters dress very plainly, and that's kind of also part of why. No, if I try to like, you know, again, not trying to put myself down or anything, but when I get creative with my clothes, they almost always end up looking very strange, and that's fine. You know, maybe that's something I can work on from now on. Yeah. Yeah, I try to dress, like I said, I try to dress my characters as if they were like regular people out in the regular world, because that's what I try to like make the settings be. But conversely, somebody like this who is, you know, in a high fantasy adventure scenario, they might not have such quandaries, so to speak. You know, they have fewer restrictions on what they are allowed to kind of have. I mean, this dude could have just as easily been shirtless, and that would still be perfectly valid. Okay. There we go. Okay. Alright, then... Okay, yeah. I can still make this work. I just need to kind of like... Kind of like that. It looks like he's wearing heels. You are the dancing queen. Alright, no. Okay, back to getting serious though. Actually, no, this is a fairly good silhouette. I love the name for these little, like, wannabe claws on the side here. Apparently they're called a dew claw. I found out that cats can have 5 fingers because of this thing. And because they have a little dew claw. Yeah, apparently cats can have 5 fingers instead of 4. I always thought the cats had 4 fingers. You know, for a given value of fingers. Yeah, I always thought the cats had 4 fingers, but apparently they can have 5. Okay. There we go. Then over on this side. Yes, okay. God, that was a stroke of inspiration, huh? Nice work, brain. You're welcome, Pablo. I'm not gonna start doing that. I'm not gonna start ventriloquizing my brain. I already do a lot of goofy stuff on here, and that feels like a step too far into mental illness. Alright, let's see. Okay, then... over here. Okay, yeah. Then, how many toes does this dude have? 3. 3 toes. Okay, then in that case I've pretty much gotten it already, because the last one would be kind of obscured there. Alright, then we can adjust line width for this one. Is it still in process the whole line? No, it is not. Perfect. Oops. Let me just kind of get rid of this part here. Is that how that works? Maybe like a little bit more like this, almost. Okay. Then yeah. Like that. Okay, that feels much more comfortable. Nice work. And then we can just kind of neaten out those lines there. Connect these two together. Then redraw line width. What's going on here? Oh, I see what happened. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then from there... Yeah, that reminds me, apparently, like speaking of stuff that's not great for your mental health, I remember reading about like this idea of particularly visual novels called like denpachi. It's part of like a genre or like a subgenre almost of essentially visual novels which are meant to make you like feel like you're questioning reality, from what I understand. So not in the sense that you kind of get so lost in the game's world that you know, refuse to return to the real world. Not in that sense, although potentially, I suppose. But more like in the idea that in the game you kind of like start losing the idea of what is real and what isn't. You know, like maybe, oh, hey, so this thing is happening, but maybe it's actually this thing happening. And apparently it's named after the idea that electromagnetic waves could mess up your brain. Which is interesting. Oh, speaking of Japanese, I've learned recently why there are so many food-themed holidays in Japan, and literally most of it, not all of it, but most of it, has to do with the fact that in Japanese it's much easier to make puns related to food than in English. Like, for example, Niku, right? So, I don't know how to write Niku in Japanese. I'm a Latino. I don't know how to write Japanese. But essentially, you can make like you could very easily make the same sound for Niku using 2 and 9. So that's why February 9th or September 2nd is sometimes called Meat Day, because it's like Ni 2 and Q 9. Yeah. And apparently that's why it's very common for there to be like super obscure food holidays like Curry Day, or like curry isn't Japanese, but they still have a holiday for it. Or, you know, there's also Poke Day or Pepero Day, which if it's in Korean. That's also I think that's based more on the shape of the stick, but I think it also means I think it also meant like Singles Day or something, right? Something like that. God, it's been a while since I've had like Poke or Pepero. I didn't even like it that much when I had ready access to it, but I for some reason I like thought about it and I'm like, it's been a while since I've had some. You know when you don't necessarily crave a food, but you realize that it's been a while since you had some? It's kind of like that feeling. It's not that you want to go out and eat it so much as it is that you realize, oh, I haven't eaten it in a while. Okay, let's see. There we go. Yeah, maybe like this. Yeah, psychological horror stuff is very interesting to me. As someone who used to get more scared by, like, you know, more like physical horror, stuff like gore and zombies and stuff like that, psychological horror is very interesting to me because it just feels like it, especially when it's very well written, it just feels fun to read it. You feel very, you know, maybe it's because I'm a little bit, I don't know how to put it, like, if the writer tries to be subtle, I may not always get it. So a lot of things in psychological horror will straight up fly over my head. So maybe that's why I'm slightly stronger against it. But it's also very interesting because a lot of it is very well written. You know, if you're in the psychological horror subgenre, you have to be a much better writer, I think, than just like conventional horror, because you can't rely on... I mean, you can rely to some extent on like the regular kind of horror elements, you know, gore, the feeling of being hunted, the feeling of being unsafe, tension, all that. Obviously, you have to make use of those in your toolkit, but simultaneously, you also are limited in their use, because otherwise you're not really a psychological horror story. You're just kind of a horror story. You know, like in The Shining, they don't hit you with that hallway flooding with blood in the first minute of the movie. They wait until like hour 2 or something. It's kind of the same concept, right? So you have to build up tension first. Although I suppose that's true for most horror. Like I said, it's kind of universal across most horror, maybe not just psychological horror. But I feel like, especially so in psychological horror, you need to have a much better sense of, like, timing. I don't think I've read that much stuff with psychological horror in it. Or maybe, like I said, maybe there was psychological horror in it and it just flew over my head. That being said, one of my favorite manga is Chainsaw Man, and that has, from what I understand, a little bit of psychological horror. Okay. Let's see. Okay, like this. Oh yeah, I've seen some people have started reading the second chapter in the second half of the series, and I'm very excited about it. I'm not gonna say anything about what I saw because I'm pretty sure that it's a spoiler, but I am very excited for it. I'm just excited about it in general. You know, when one of your favorite series kind of picks up for a second half, and very immediately that second half doesn't have the main characters in it. I'm one of those dudes who, you know, I'm a little bit on the pessimistic side when it comes to sequels, so I'm honestly relieved whenever the sequel doesn't feature the same characters as before, because usually, when you have a story, it's meant to be made so that the characters in it have a full narrative arc, particularly well-written ones. You know, well-written stories are meant to be almost self-contained. You know, they're not meant to have a sequel or something. They could have plot hooks for the next series, sure, but they're not going to have, you know, a character's narrative arc should be fully explored within the story, or else you'll feel like you're just kind of wasting your time with it. Marvel movies. but because of that, when a sequel kind of focuses on a different set of characters, it feels much more refreshing, particularly because it can serve as a nice kind of contrast to the original scenes. And Chainsaw Man had a lot of interesting themes. So it'll be nice to kind of compare and contrast the POV character of Denji with the Warfiend girl. Let's see. What is going on with this part here? Very strange. Maybe I copied and pasted it by accident. That could have happened. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if Chainsaw Man qualifies as psychological horror. It's definitely got horror elements, but I don't know if it qualifies as psychological horror. I don't have enough experience in that genre to give a hard yes or no whether it is. It feels like it should be, but I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my quote-unquote wheelhouse in terms of writing is comedy. And technically urban fantasy also, but mainly comedy, so... Okay, so from there... Okay, I think we're... The foot, I forgot the foot. I didn't forget the tail this time, though. That's a step up from Yeah, I've definitely made some progress in 6 months. Want to know why? Because this time I remembered to draw the tail on a lizard character. I still can't believe that I forgot to draw Asbestos' tail that one time. That was such a low moment for me. Okay. I'm gonna move this foot a little bit, just a little bit. Oh, it's already kind of leaned down as far as it can go, huh? Excuse me. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is as follows. Okay, we start with the toes down here. Need 'em, wanna, gotta have 'em. Then we kind of move upward, slowly by little. Then over here. Let's see, and then there. Was the Duclaw? Okay, it's on the inside of the leg, so I don't think you'd be able to see it from here. Okay, then what about like this? Okay. Okay, that's doing something for me. Okay. Okay, we're little by little we're getting there. I think I may not have fully captured the kind of like lizard anatomy on that one, but that's okay. Sometimes all you need is to be like a serviceable leg, and that's fine. Okay, and now what I need is the sword. Okay, so it's time to bust out a trick that... Oh my god, that was a crunchy wrist. Oh goodness. Okay. Okay, so I think it's time to bust out a party trick that I haven't done in a while, which is to grab a primitive shape. Where am I? Josh? Where are the primitives? Oh, I see. It's because I still got the umbrella search bar on it. There we go. There's my beautiful primitives. Okay, we're going to want to do this on the same layer here. Okay, so first of all, shrink this way down. Yeah, the Drake versus door hole meme has given me so much as an individual, because every time that I have something that I either forgot or that I didn't remember to do, I can be like, Pablo, where's this thing, the thing that you needed to make? Like, I remember one time I made one that's like, hey Pabs, where's the schedule? I like to think that I'm very good at remembering to like upload stuff on time for my streaming, you know, like my schedules and everything. I like to think that I do that in a timely manner. But then some days I have to face the fact that, yeah, no, I still make a lot of goof ups with that. How low do I need to get this? Okay. Okay, now I'm understanding. Okay, I think we've almost got it. Yeah, boy. Yeah, baby. Okay. Then we just need to kind of spin it to the left and then do it like this and then like this. Yeah, beautiful. And then we just need to extend it. Okay, and then just like that. Okay, cool. Hydrate, thank you. Alright, hydrate and posture check, here we go. Less of the water there. Grab some more soon. I knocked out. Hey, that's good though. I'm glad. I'm glad. It's good that you got some rest. Yeah. I've heard that it's very difficult. Like, I recently read a piece on burnout, right? I've told you guys that I've been feeling like nauseous at random intervals, but but one of my friends suggested that it might be because of like psychological stress or something. I talked a couple weeks ago that I was actually very stressed out by my job for a little while. I am much better now. I'm absolutely killing it, but you know that stress was there, so I'm wondering if it is because of that. So it's important to get some quality rest. And I recently learned that it's actually easier to do that if you have like a job. You know, I think like it was like construction workers in particular were the ones that were least likely to be affected by burnout, mainly because they don't deal with that many people. They don't have to do that many like, I mean, obviously they have to do math and shit like that, like as part of their jobs. That's part of the job description. You have to be able to do construction work properly. I'm not saying that their labor isn't valuable, but what I'm saying is that when a lot of your problems are based around thinking, it's actually much harder to unwind. So for me, my job is basically nothing but thinking. You know, if anybody tells me that I don't pay you to think, I can quite literally counter with, yes, you fucking do. That's all you pay me to do. I don't think that's ever going to happen. My workplace is very kind, but I could, and that's what's important. But you know, it does involve a lot of thinking. So what ends up happening is that jobs like that, especially ones where you maybe have to deal with a lot of customers, such as retail, actually make it very difficult to wind down. You know, it makes it very difficult to relax. So that's awful. You know, that's not great. But at the same time, you know, I think the article went on to talk about how to reduce that stress, even if you do have like a heavy duty thinking job. But I didn't read that far into the article. I think it was paywalled. Ironically enough. God, don't you hate it when that happens? Like you read an article, it kind of gets to the good part, and then they suddenly hit you with that paywall. Absolutely atrocious. I remember there used to be a program that I'm not going to name in case it's still active and somebody wants to be a hater and shut it down. There used to be a program that you could use to get past those, but I don't think it's in operation anymore. Sadly. Okay, adjust line width, scale up, process whole line, thicken that up, stop processing the whole line, thicken this up. There we go. Wait, no, I'm erasing the wrong part. Okay, there we go. It's probably a bad idea to leave, like, a weapon which is supposed to take up, like, half of the drawing up to the last minute, but, what can I say? I never learn. I'm like the anti-Pavlov's dogs. Actually, no, I do learn quite a bit on this channel. I was gonna say that I'm very happy, you know, besides getting to meet all kinds of wonderful people, and that really is the best part of it, that I've met a lot of friends through VTubing, which is lovely. But moreover, it's kind of given me a great... I feel like I'm better at art than ever. And, you know, obviously that comes from doing like 2 or 3 drawing streams a week. But it is just nice to feel like you are progressing, you know? It'd be one thing if like I was doing art streams and I just wasn't getting any better. But I am getting better. I can feel that I'm getting better. So yeah, thank you all for sticking it out with me on this journey. Okay. I feel like I made the eye too tall again. Hang on. Oops. Aw. Yeah, okay, the sword. The sword is what I'm gonna call, like, guts-esque. I'm about to pass out again, though. That's fine. Now, I'm glad that my streams are chill enough that people can take a nap during them. Like I said, getting quality rest is important. Not to mention, it's a little bit like time traveling. You get to see the finished, the piece in a more finished state without having to wait. So, yeah, more power to you. Okay. And okay, let's just slice this part off. Yeah. Go. Alright, and then from there, let's see. Did I make the handle too big? I think I might have. Alright, let's scale that back down a little bit then. Yeah, I feel like that feels a lot more natural. Come on, here we go. Okay, then from there... I do like that the sword is so huge that it just extends past the screen. It might be even longer than we know. It might just be that lever that was said to be large enough to pull the earth. Okay, and over here. There we go. There we go. And then copy and paste that. Okay. Actually, that might be a little too wide. Hang on. There we go. That feels a little bit more natural. Okay, and then we'll have one in the middle. Kind of around here. That'll do it. Okay. First of all, let's see how this looks without the... Nice, okay. Okay, then from there, I'm going to shrink this down again. I'm going to add a bunch of little nicks and dings and scratches and all that to the sword. Okay, first of all, so part of that will be adjusting line width. First of all, that'll be going to the proper layer. Scaling up the width, just a little bit on the crossguard here, I suppose, and then scaling down the width. Okay. Yeah, this middle line in particular, we're really gonna want to hit hard. Okay. And then, you know, we'll have like little dings and scratches here and there. Yeah, we can do that a little bit for the rest of the armor as well. I forgot, is the middle of the gloves metal too? Yes, it is. I said gloves like he's wearing gloves. These are not gloves, these are bracers. And I should know the difference. Actually, I don't know why I should know the difference, but I feel like I should. I was one of those kids that had a phase where he just wore fingerless gloves all the time. They were very useful, though. I will say that. Like, my hands have never felt more protected than they did when I wore fingerless gloves 24/7. I didn't wear them to bed or anything, but I just wore them whenever I went outside. Okay. Would anything else have like little dings and scratches? I feel like maybe I need to like do some like scale stuff right here. Oh, right, the weird ringlet tattoo question mark thing that he has on here. Okay. I need to remember to do that as well. No wonder his forehead was feeling a little lonely. Is that a... okay, is that a crown, though? I think it might be. I think it's some kind of crown or tiara, perhaps. There we go. Oops. I think I might have covered it up with his eyebrow. I think it's supposed to go over. That's my bad. Okay, let's realign that then. Okay, there we go. These feel like a very weird pair of glasses. I don't know why, I feel like I'm drawing this the same way I normally draw glasses. Yeah, I draw glasses like I'm holding a pair of them, you know? Which is to say, I treat them with extreme caution and try not to get them smudged with my hands. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is starting to shape up quite nicely. Perfect. There we go. Okay, cool. I think that's everything. I think that's all there is for me to do before we move on to coloring, that is. And thankfully that shouldn't be too complicated, I don't think. How are we for time? About 2 hours in, 2:20. That's fine. We got time. Okay. Do a couple more wrist stretches here and there. That's it. Let's get right into it. Yeah, I think the first thing we can start off with is the sword. Yes, thank you to this fella for making their art with clean colors like that. I always appreciate that because I have a very difficult time color picking. Well, obviously it's much more difficult to color pick if the colors in question are all kind of jumbled together, you know, in like a more painterly style. But that's just me kind of being a whiny baby as well. You know, it makes my life easier is what I'm trying to say when you do that for me, so thank you to this person. I owe you my life. Okay. Okay, this part here too. do I have a... Is there a tangent here? No, I'm a little. There's a little bit of a tangent there. Nothing that a little bit of hard work and grease can't fix. In any case, it's a little too late now to go back to the line art, so I guess it's here to stay to some extent. Speaking of which, I should thin out the line art just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, like I said, like I say, I have a tendency to lay the line art on a little bit thicker than it needs to be. So being able to reduce a line art size like that on a whim is very useful to me. Okay, then from here, this for the pants. Come on, bud. There we go. Then I need this for the rest of the underside of the bracers. For the padding. Second time I've had to correct myself for that one. And that to the tally board. Okay. Is there a gap here? No, but there is a line that's not supposed to be there. Oops. There we go. Okay, then next would be the jacket, the duster I want to call it. Okay. Is that right? Yeah, it's right. Okay. Then from there, gonna need the collar here. Here. Wait, no, hang on. Okay, so this makes sense. So what would that make this part here? Metal? For the armor? I guess so. Alright, I'll roll with it. Why not? Okay, then, well, the gauntlets themselves. Again, these are technically not gauntlets, they're just bracers. If they were gauntlets, then they would have gloves, right? I think that's the difference, right? Between just the bracers and the gauntlets. I feel like I need to get myself like a proper kind of plate mail set of gauntlets. I don't know why, but I feel like it would enhance the quality of my life drastically. I don't do hemo or anything, I just feel like they would make my life better. All clanking around in the middle of my house, just using them to wash dishes. And then immediately oiling them so they don't rust. Okay, here we go. Oops, there we go. Okay, this part here is also this color. Yeah, this is also the phase of the drawing where I notice all the little nicks and scratches that I didn't mean to be there. Yeah, it happens. I feel like some of them give the art more flavor though, make it a little bit more crunchy. Okay, then this part here. Cool. Then next up, belt. That was such a weird way. Okay, I don't know what kind of sound just came out of my mouth there, but I don't think that was the word belt. Belt. Okay. Then next, okay, I'll make this part that color too. Then some of these little parts here, like this part here, and this part here. Those are both kind of like that color. Then this color will also be here. Is there a color for this one? No, none specified. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of keep it a kind of grayish color like the metal on the sword. Okay, from there, this would also have that color, the same color as here. Then from there, this inside part of the hood would be like red like this. I need to add the scales, I think, to the neck. Okay. And this part here too. That also goes for these parts in here too. Okay, no, it actually uses the same color as the lining of the jacket here. Very interesting, very interesting. Okay, then over here. Okay, cool. And I imagine this ringlet up here uses a... What is that? It's almost white, isn't it? Oh, weirdly enough, it's a little bit lower on the brightness than I thought it would be. Very interesting shade. Okay, then from there... I like this. I like the little head they've got here. It feels like a lot of fun. I love it when an amusement park's mascot is just like a giant head. Like, I just like when amusement parks have like a giant head of their mascot. Not even like attached to anything, it's just like you can just see the head of the mascot everywhere. I feel like that's funny in a very almost morbid kind of sense. I mean, granted, that's kind of what they do for coins, right? Like, they just put your face on stuff. And having your face on it means that it's good currency. I know how coins work. But that is kind of how it works, though. Like, the entire basis of coins is that you will be able to, like, trade it for something of value, right? And, you know, what's on the coin, or, like, the coin itself is the value if you're using, like, a gold standard or something. Which we're not. We're not using a gold standard anymore, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on how you want to look at it. We're using fiat currency. I think Canada and the US are both using fiat currency, yeah. And what that basically means is that we are giving... Whenever you give somebody $1, you're basically giving them an IOU that says that the government will not collapse. Which in its own way is kind of hilarious. It's like, trust us, bro, we're good for it. We won't collapse for at least another 100 years. Maybe less. Who knows? Yeah, for just pennies a day. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna launch it that all, but... Okay, let's see. What color would be the horns? Okay, they're this color. Okay... I do wonder what would happen if we suddenly decided we wanted to go back to the gold standard, though. Like, God, we just have like a bunch of economists standing outside of the gold standard's house, playing like a mixtape on a giant boombox. Taking me back, babe. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, I don't know what a return to the gold standard would look like. Like I said, I'm not an economist. I don't know what that would look like exactly. I imagine inflation would maybe stabilize a little bit, but there's no guarantee of that. I mean, there's no guarantee of anything if you think about it. What? Oh, I see. I was gonna say, like, I think I messed up with a line here, but no, that's just the kind of negative space between the tail. Okay. Oh wait, these are supposed to be the pants, now I remember. Okay, then from there... Oh, yeah, we kind of got this stretching all the way back, don't we? Alright. We are missing the claws and the armor plates on the knees, but besides that, we should be ready to head out into the shading stage. Howdy again. Had to reset phone. Jeez. Yeah, I've noticed that happens a lot with mine as well. And also, remember that I was talking smack about that nothing phone a while back, like a couple days ago? It turns out that it's actually much more affordable than I had thought. Especially given that like it's got much smaller what do you call? Like it has decent specifications, and it's surprisingly affordable for such a well-specified phone, but I'm still not getting one. I'm still not gonna think about getting one until like... Yeah, I don't know. Something about like very independent phone brands is kind of weird to me. I might get a Nokia, you know, just to mix things up. Why not? You know, people are like Samsung this, Apple that. I'll fucking get a Nokia just to be the specialist little boy in the room. Let's see. Oh, I like that. I like this effect. Started with Nokia, gonna die with a Nokia. The karmic ballet goes on. I mean, yeah, there's that theory of 20-year stuff, right? Like something that was popular 20 years ago is gonna be popular again soon. So, for example, usually it's got to do with like media and stuff like that. So, for example, you know, maybe we're gonna see in the early 2000s we had a whole surge of... Oh wait, no, like for example, Tokyo Mew Mew was early in the 2000s, and now we're getting a reboot of it, which I hear is apparently very good. So there's that, for example. Fidget Spinner 2.0 in... Okay, those were most popular during 2016, I believe. That or 2016 is the last year I remember. It feels like they were a 2016 thing, though. So in 2036, we're gonna get like Fidget Spinner 2.0. Which is kind of a terrifying thought. Yeah, I think at that point we might as well just start building at-home centrifuges. God, I remember this one YouTube channel that was just a dude who just kept like a series of fidget spinners rotating forever. Like the entire channel was this dude just like occasionally like reaching down to like start spinning one, and that was the entire channel. Like that was the whole ethos of the channel, was to just like occasionally start at the fidget spinner enough times, and you eventually start to stop being able to say it. This is how I shall prevent the bad future of the Fidget Spinner 2.0 from happening. I'll just make everybody keep saying fidget spinner so many times that it's going to lose meaning. Okay, there we go. I see there's also like some flake across the eyebrows and the cheeks as well. I can do that. But yeah, God, I'm thinking about all the crazy shit that happened in 2016 that's gonna make a comeback in the 30s. Oh man, we are not ready. Honestly, my only kind of holdout hope is that we figure out sodium ion batteries sometime soon, because lithium ion is going to kill the planet. I do feel like sodium ion batteries might be the way to go, but we need to get them to what do you call, viable point first, and that's going to take quite a bit of doing, particularly if there are people who just love using lithium-ion batteries. Because I can't imagine that they're cheaper to make, though. Like, the good thing is that if we do figure out sodium-ion batteries, it's going to be much cheaper than having to go for the lithium all the time. Because it being a scarce resource, you know, it's going to be harder to acquire that than, you know, just some salt. Okay, there we go. I think I did too much on the nose. Yeah, definitely I did too much on the nose, but I can fix that soon. You know, first I gotta get the rest of this kind of put together. Is there any on his hands? No, I don't think there is. But I do remember it being somewhat on the tail, on these like tailbone parts here. I think they had like a name for these, like, I don't remember their name. I don't remember it off the top of my head. I know Ankylosauruses have them though. Osteoderms, that's the word. Osteoderms. Yeah, them skin bones. Yeah, those are called apparently osteoderms. Now I remember. Thanks, Wikipedia article that I read at 5 AM. Alright. Yeah, they're just kind of like that. Okay, I'm gonna just do it like this a little bit. I think that'll do. As an initial pass. Humanity would be extinct if not for Wikipedia. 100%. Straight up. If we do not manage to retain Wikipedia as like a humanitarian resource, we are fucked. Alright. The Wikipedia threshold. Like, if we lose Wikipedia, we lose it all. Not even as a hyperbole. If we lose Wikipedia, we really, truly do lose it all. Okay. Okay. There we go. That's a little bit more true to the character design. Yeah, where's that 1xkcd image, which is like the entire, like, it has like this huge stack of blocks, and it says like the entire web infrastructure, and over here it has like one dinky little block, and one little block here, and this is just some project that some dude in Nevada has been thanklessly updating since 1998. Yeah, I got like the harshest dose of this when I tried to download The Sims 3 the other day. If we're friends on Steam, you could have seen that like I was just trying to start it up like a car with a really bad engine, you know, just trying to give it a few million revs and trying to see if like maybe something was changed this time, but no, it didn't. And essentially, what I found out is that the Sims 3 launcher relies on Adobe Flash, Internet Explorer, and this thing called like Netscape, or I think it is called like Netscape, somethingscape 3.5, and all but Netscape 3.5, and potentially Netscape 3.5 if you're running a machine like mine, because I couldn't get it to download. All of those are now like discredited programs. Like there's no more Windows Explorer; it got shut down. There's no more Adobe Flash, that got shut down. So essentially, you've got a piece of my childhood that is unable to run because so much of the software that it was built on has an expiration date. Now imagine that suddenly happened for something like Google. Alright? Then things are well and truly off the deep end. I mean, there's other search engines like DuckDuckGo and everything. I'm not saying that Google is the only one, but Google is the one that most people use. You know, not all of us are at quite the paranoia stage where we're switching search engines and browsers to just protect our data. I mean, I am, but like that's a personal choice. You know, I recognize that might be in the minority even. Okay. Yeah, I love Firefox. I really and truly do. There's just something very, like... I'd say the word utilitarian, but like... I don't think that's correct, because I think utilitarian is like a mode of... It's like a thing of ethics. Okay, here we go. Okay, I think I know how to do this. Okay, and then it's gonna kind of like stretch out like this. There we go. Then we can thin these out really, really thin. Yeah, scale down width, that's perfect. There we go. That's true. I was gonna say I should drink some water, but then I remembered that I'm out of water, which isn't good. But thankfully we don't have... Well, not thankfully, I love doing this, but, you know, luckily we don't have much left to do on this drawing. Okay, so what is this? This is the osteoderms, right? Okay, I'm gonna keep those on a separate layer for the moment. Oh shit, did I put another shading on here that I didn't know about? Okay, no, it's just the mouth ones. Okay, then I will merge them. Okay, so... Okay, maybe not bumping up the saturation too much. I recently learned that my mouse apparently has a setting where you can increase or decrease the DPI. So if you... This is with high DPI apparently. And I'm barely moving it, and this is with very low DPI, for reference. I'm moving it the same amount, but you can see that it's much lower. I like having it on higher DPI. I like how twitchy it feels. Okay. Ooh, that's fun. Oh, that's too much though. Whoop. Clicked out of the window. Okay, maybe lowering luminosity. Yeah, I think this is good. Maybe more towards one end or the other. No, that's starting to look discolored. Ooh, that's kind of nice though. Okay, I like that. Okay, let's do it with this one then. Okay. So for the shading, I think we're gonna go with normal cell shading. I think we're gonna do our classic trick of just copy and paste the model layer, rasterize it, and then kind of keep it as a reference nearby. Because I think the shadows on this are interesting enough as it is. Yeah, we're gonna do this one pretty quick and dirty. Alright. So, and here we see the common PC... and here we see the common PC PvP, increasing the mouse sensitivity to its utmost value. Like a crackhead. I need to learn how to do a David Attenborough impression. I understand that he's old and it might become tasteless if he passes on before I do, but I gotta be able to do that David Attenborough voice. I feel like my repertoire will be incomplete without it. You know, I have my handy dandy little walkie-talkie man kind of voice here, and that's fun if I have to like voice a robot or something. But I have to be able to, you know, it's not like I'm aiming to be a voice actor, but I do want to be able to do a variety of goofs if the chance arises. It's less so a career thing and more of a Boy Scout is always prepared kind of thing. Let's see. And then on this part here, it's gonna kind of be like this. Okay, and over here. I mean, it wouldn't be tasteless if you maintain a basic level of respect when imitating their voice. I suppose that's true. I was about to say it's like people don't get offended when you try to do a Charlie Chaplin voice, but then I remember that he does all silent movies, so I don't think that's I don't know how that would apply. Now, see, that joke was tasteless. That might have been a little bit tasteless. Okay, no, that's not gonna work. That needs to be in like a shorter range or something. Okay, and then over here. Okay, then we need to use like a texture blender or something, right? Yeah, there we go. I can put in a little bit of wash right here to kind of increase the knuckle density a little bit. And then clean it up right here so it doesn't bleed onto the sword. Perfect! Okay, then from there, I actually want to do a couple scales here. Okay, then from there, we're gonna head on over to this part here. Okay. God, sometimes I'm really happy with how the shadows on these come out. Like, look at that, it's so crisp. Okay. From there, this is going to kind of go on like this. You know, the weirdest thing is, I talked about that sandwich that I ate earlier, the one that I got during my breakfast. I didn't get to eat it until lunch, and I can still taste the mustard on it. It had some strong friggin' mustard on it. I've never understood mustard. You know, I've never understood a lot of condiments, but mustard specifically always kind of stupefies me. Like, it's not like mayonnaise where it kind of conceptually disgusts me. I understand mayonnaise, right? But like, mustard has always just been like very strange to me because like, I understand fundamentally that it is made from the mustard seed. But when I look at that kind of like radioactive yellow mustard that you see on like hot dogs vendors and like hot dog stands and such, I don't feel like that's organic. That I feel like that's like 90% plastic at least. It very well might be, but it's never felt like a real condiment to me because I've never been able to like figure out like, you know, it's like, I don't know. Mustard is a mystery to me. The mystery of mustard with David Attenborough at 5 o'clock. No, okay. Okay. God, it would look really bad if he died tonight, huh? Okay. Although I will say though, one thing that I really sincerely miss from the early-ish 2000s is how it's made. you watch. I mean, nowadays you kind of like just get random YouTube videos. You know, you look up like factory for such and such thing, and you get like a million hits on like a factory for making QB doll babies, and that's fine. But I miss like specifically tailored programming that basically held your hand throughout the entire factory process and showed you what each machine did and explained what each machine did, why it was made, why it's there. Maybe like, oh, did they use this from the beginning, or is it a more recent thing? Is it kind of cutting edge? How does it work? I feel like we don't have like... I feel like we've lost a level of depth in a lot of these like near documentary kind of TV series, because a lot of it can be explained by the fact that, like, you know, they have limited production values as a YouTube channel. Maybe they might not be able to bring as many experts on board, and I get that. But at the same time, like, that's exactly why we need like edutainment programming. You know, it's like I need to be. It's not like I need to be able to know what each machine in each factory everywhere does. I'm just saying it would be nice. Kind of don't like how the shadow looks, actually. I'm gonna... Okay, make sure I don't get any of the hand there. Accidentally press the Windows key there. Hang on. Okay. Please don't tell me I got the wrong layer. I beseech you to tell me I did not get the wrong layer. Okay, I got the right layer. Fantastic. Okay, that seems good. Okay, and then for this one, we're gonna go towards this color here, and that's gonna kind of... Okay, it's gonna go like this. Oh, whoops. Just see. Oh no, did you fall asleep again? It's fine, you can take a nap, but like, if you're pressing out C, then I don't think you're sleeping. Yeah, drop some honk shoe memes in the chat if you're napping real hard right now. Yeah, let's see. No, that doesn't feel quite right. I'm just gonna do this with the hard eraser. Art is like an onion. No, I missed the backspace key and hit send. Art is like an onion. You know, it's got many layers. It takes a while to to find one that you really like, and it makes you cry all the time. Surprisingly, I've never gotten particularly frustrated in my art. Maybe it's a lack of passion or something, but I've never gotten to the point where I'm like crying because I didn't get something right. I mean, I imagine that's true for a lot of people. I imagine the kind of like crying because something isn't working out is usually hyperbole initiated for the sake of humor. But at the same time, like, I feel like some people really have cried because they just didn't manage to get something just the way they wanted it to, and I can understand that, but it's never really happened to me. I should drink some water, but I don't have any. It's always very awkward for me to kind of get... I don't know why, but it feels very awkward for me to try to get up and get some more water, even though it's a good thing. It always feels very awkward. I feel like I'm leaving a house guest alone. You know, it's like, oh god, what do I do? Maybe the dog... What if the dog pees on them or something? I don't think that's an actual fear that people have. I don't think most people are afraid of their dog peeing on their house guest, unless they have a house guest who has a history with that kind of thing, or a dog with a history of that kind of thing. Either or, you don't want to leave the house guest and your dog alone in the same room, lest at least one of them suffer a social embarrassment. Okay. Yeah, I know that for dogs, peeing on stuff is like marking territory, right? I think like maybe that's the end of that conversation. I don't think there's anything further to be said about that. Go get a water right now. I ain't asking. All right. Let me put you on the BRB screen. Hang on. Okay, I've returned with a plentiful goods at the faraway sink. By which I mean I refilled my water cup. My water jug? It's not really a jug. Bottle. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about a bottle. Oh my god. I'm like, okay, it's smaller than a jug. It's bigger than a cup. What's it called? It's a bottle. It's a water bottle. I refilled my water bottle. God. The weird thing is that I got like a full 8 hours of sleep tonight. This is what you're seeing is like normal energy Pabs. Yeah, I thought my weird kind of like tirades and everything were just how I was like when I was tired, but no, I think I'm just like this. I think I'm just built this way. Okay, there we go. Okay. So kind of going off this logic, now I can say I should drink some water and actually drink some water. Thank you, Zen. Or Ven. Okay. Let's see. Okay, that's gonna go on like that. And then... Here we go. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. I need to make an edit of that Kronk image with myself in there, because I do say that a lot. In my defense though, things do come together for me pretty well. Another day, another dub for the Papster. Okay, then over here, that's gonna kind of come up like this. You know, I say that having narrowly avoided death many times. Okay. Let's see. Okay. It's not so much imposter syndrome when you know for a fact that if, like, a couple of things hadn't magically fallen into alignment when they did, you would be in a much worse state than you are right now. I mean, that's true for everything, right? Like, obviously you're not always gonna get away clean, but like, it really is amazing just how many coincidences came about in this world. You know, there are people who say there are no such thing as coincidence. And while I understand that, I also understand that, like, nobody could have planned for some things, for certain things. Sometimes it really is just the universe at work. Holy crap, those are some really clean shadows. I outdid myself. Okay, why can't I see... Why can I see the... Oh, I missed some spots, didn't I? See, what did I tell you? It's good for me that this sort of thing happens. It's good for me that every now and again, when I get a big head about how much I'm winning, some high-spec... some, like, buffoonery of mine comes to light, and I get immediately put in my place. It's good for me. It keeps me humble. Okay. Alright, and then we can just vanish this, and oh, I turned on the ruler. You know, I've never been one of those people that, you know, that, like, there are people who say, oh, something good happened to me, I can't wait for the bad thing that happens that cancels it out. I don't believe in that. I don't think that that's a thing. I don't think that that's something that happens to people. Good things and bad things don't happen to cancel each other out. It's not a zero-sum game, so to speak. However, I am very cognizant of hubris. I do believe in hubris as a force. Like, I don't believe in good things happening, bad things happening to people who have it good all of a sudden to kind of like return to some kind of zero-sum game. However, I do believe in some dude talking shit and then immediately getting smacked off of his high horse for it. Mainly because I've been that dude on several occasions. Sometimes even on stream. That being said, I do have a win ratio that I'm pretty proud of, so you know, it does even out a little bit. Oh, I think that was okay. That was his pectoral, huh? Wow. Okay. Okay. What color am I using for the shadow for this thing? This seems good. Okay, then I just kind of like group it out to around here. Bam. Something about this feels wrong. What about... Okay, yeah, there we go. That feels a little better. Okay. Over here. Okay, then over here, there we go. Oh no, wrong layer. Well, the good news is that I can correct my mistakes now. As soon as I finish making that shadow. Okay, there we go. Then over here. Okay, and then from there, we're also going to want to do some shading for the hands here. Now, if I bring up the model here, yeah, you can see that the actually the hands are kind of nowhere near it. There'd be a little bit of a shadow. There would be a small, tiny sliver of a shadow, like right around here. And you'd probably be able to see the sword from up there. Okay, cool. Man, I'm glad that as a kid, did you guys ever do that thing where you had to like draw your hand and then like draw squiggly lines across it to figure out how like perspective worked? Or like how you could make like 2D images look 3D? Because I did that at one time unprompted, and I remember it was a lot of fun. I remember seeing it on like a meme page, and I did it, and I just like did it because I thought it would be fun, and it came out really good. It's the simplest things that come out the best, surprisingly enough. No, it's a little bit of going back to that idea of like a silhouette that I talked about earlier. Art is very deceptive because in a lot of cases, it's not about actually like, you know. How do I put this? Like, the main point of art isn't to have the most creative idea, or at least in my opinion, right? I feel that sometimes the point of getting better at art isn't so much that you can get better ideas, so much that it is you can communicate an idea more effectively. So, for example, I wanted to, with that kind of like, with the hand thing, right? What you want to communicate is the idea of that 3D space. And it's very efficient in that regard because you do end up successfully communicating the idea that, hey, there is an object here. It occupies this much space with just a few lines. How do I put this? It's the ability to succinctly say what you want to say with images. I think that's what sometimes that's what art is to me. Because I have a relatively simplistic style, right? I'm not like super detailed with a lot of things. I zoom in and do a few creases here and there, but it's not that if you go, like I have this, I have some degree of abstraction. Right, I don't go in there and paint every little scale on the hand. Right, that's not what I do. That probably doesn't lend itself too well to streaming on account of how long it'll take as well. Well, I guess it could be quite relaxing. Never say never. Yeah. But for me, being able to efficiently communicate what I want to say with images is a lot of the kind of value that I have with art. Okay, and over here. Okay, and then this thing here. Okay, cool. Then what I'm gonna do over here, actually, I might actually undo a little bit of the shading right here. And then can I get some of this part here and then maybe transfer it over here? Yes, I can. Fantastic. Okay. Then from there, I actually really like how the shading on this is coming out. Oh my god. It's not that I usually don't like how it comes out, but I am really surprised at myself about how well this is coming out. No, hang on, that feels wrong. That part here feels very wrong. Oops. Hang on, I think I might have... Oh, wait, is this just the same-ish color? Is that why it's not changing at all? Oh, sure it is. Okay. Yeah, that also happens. That being said, that does give me an idea. Okay. And then right here. here. Oops. I forgot that this is not the first layer of shadow that I've made on this layer. If that makes sense. Okay. There we go. One time I read a post that said, I say does that make sense a lot, not because I'm not worried that, like, I'm not unconfident about what I'm saying. Oh yeah, it's not that I'm worried that you're too stupid to understand what I'm saying. It's because I'm worried that I'm incoherent. You know, it's a very blunt way of putting it, but that is essentially what I mean when I say does that make sense. I'm worried that I'm expressing it in a way that only makes sense to me. Not that that's really been a problem. I'm told that I'm decent at explanations, but I'd rather my point come across clearly. You know, I hate miscommunication. Okay, then from there, I do the same thing. Good to know. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice when you're not alone on that sort of thing. Yeah. Okay, then over here, this part here, and I think I'll blend that out. Okay, maybe with a watercolor brush. No, that doesn't look right. There we go. Alright, we managed to salvage that. And from there... Okay, what else are we missing? We're missing the other sleeve, the tail, the skin, and the pants. Pants are very important, especially when it's about something I made. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you make something, obviously you want to be understood, right? That's a lot of what being a creator is about. And you want to put an idea out there, and you want it to be understood, even if that idea is sick dragon dude holding a sword. You kind of want to get that idea to get across pretty well. And then over here, not gonna have too much, just a little bit here and there. Almost. There we go. Then, what tone did I use for the shadows on the gambeson? Okay. Yeah, this one's going to be fairly straightforward. Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. There we go. Then over here, we'll do a little bit of shading for this part here. And then, yeah, it is more or less just like the same as set for this part here. Okay, and then right here, we'll add a little something here. Okay, and then from there we have another kind of shadow right here, I imagine. Yes, we do. Then over here too. Okay, and then from there, we're still missing the shading on the metal and the pants. We'll take care of the pants first, because, I mean, obviously on the skin. We'll take care of the pants first, though, because that seems like the easiest one to tackle. I also need to... Okay, before I do that, though, I'm going to do the leather straps on the bracers, because I know that if I don't, I'm going to forget. Okay. Yeah, sometimes your prioritization relies more on understanding how your brain works than what actually is the priority. You know, that's why I've been getting frozen vegetables more than fresh vegetables these days, because I know that if I have fresh vegetables, I'm not going to get the opportunity to cook them very well, or if I do, I'll be really tired afterwards, and that's not fun for me, so I probably won't cook them anyway. But if I just have frozen veggies, then I can just cook those whenever I want, and, you know, enjoy myself some vegetables. So you have to think. So sometimes you have to think to yourself, what am I going to be able to do in the future? Okay, over here, there's actually no shadow on the neck, or like no light source on the neck. It's just all shadow. Okay. I'm worried that this is going to make him look very angry the way that I've shaped that shadow on the eyebrow, but you know, that's life sometimes. You just got an angry dragon guy. Okay. And that you have to deal with that. It's just fact of life. Okay. Gonna need a darker shade than that for the nostril, I think. There we go. What is this here? Oh, that's a horn. Right. Okay, then... Oh, hang on. I think I see. I think I see a problem. Okay, so I can just kind of put this part right here like this. Okay, this will make much more sense to me. I was gonna say, I think I put the plate mail like way too high up, and I did. That's my B. Okay. Okay, so this part would have this shading. This part would actually have this shading. And this part would actually be this kind of like brown part here. It would have this shading in order. This shading right here, this shading right around here. Wrong layer. Okay, then over here. And then this part would actually have shading like this. Perfect. Yeah, that makes much more sense to me. Where are we for time? Ooh, we are a little bit past the clock, but that's fine. We're going to be wrapping up soon. Okay. Over here, we'll also have that. It's a good thing that I put these on separate layers, so I can just do this to on areas that are unshaded. Okay. Oh yeah, this shading is definitely making him look a little bit angrier than he probably is. Well, you know, thumbs the brakes when you have a face made of scales. That's... you're just gonna have to deal with the fact that sometimes you look like an angry emoji. You're gonna look a little grumpy. And that's fine, you know, not everybody can have a happy face 24/7. Okay. I mean, Lord knows I can't. Okay. There we go. Then over here. Perfect. Okay, then also over here. Okay, cool, cool, cool. There we go. Alright, then what else is there? Oh, right, this part of the skin. Okay, here we go, here we go. Oh, wait, hang on, that looks a little bit too much like the normal part. Or like the rest of the other part. Blah. Okay, how about that? Okay, that works. I think that works. That's very that's visually distinct enough, I think. Okay, and then the horns. Well, let's see. Okay. Okay, and then over on this side we'll have kind of something similar. Horns always remind me a little bit of bamboo shoots, in the way that they're kind of segmented. At least when I draw them like this, they remind me a lot of bamboo shoots. Okay, now all we need is the metal and the pants. And the tail. We'll do the tail first, since we're already kind of using the skin colors. Okay. And this color here for the rest of it. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna hide away that little part there, because I think it doesn't read well enough with the way the lighting is kind of positioned. Which is sad, but it happens. Okay, the good news is that I think some of these colors are the same. So this one here and this one here are actually the same color, so I can use the same shadows, the same color of shadows for that one that I can for this one. This is being economical. Okay. Maybe I can use some soft shading on this side here. Yeah, that works, I think. And just kind of keep it like this. Okay, and then for this cuff as well, this one we can just go full dark, and we might actually go one step darker so we can add some details to it. Then from there, right, do these have the same color as anything else? Nope. Okay, what about these two? Okay, these two are the same color, so I can shade the belt right here. Keep forgetting to switch back to the hard eraser when I'm done with the soft eraser. Okay, then this part here is actually going to have a little bit of a darker part here, and ditto for this part here. And this part here is just going to be all dark. Perfect. Then pants. Pants. Are those the same color as the belt? No. I think I tried that literally 5 seconds ago. Oops. Well, that's fine though. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so from there I'll also add some extra things here for the knee pauldron. I temporarily forgot the word for knee brace. That's also not what this is. Greaves? Greaves are for the feet, though. Greaves are such a weird word. Like, I know that armor in general is probably a mishmash of French, Greek, and a whole bunch of other, probably dead languages, to be perfectly honest. Old English and all that. So I think like a lot of them are just very weird words. Probably some Scottish and Gaelic, too. I'm pretty sure the Celts were famous for not wearing anything to battle. You know, I think that was kind of one of their branding points. Okay, then with the kneaded eraser, increase this. Okay. Then from there, add a little extra darker spot. No, that's not quite right. Slightly less dark than that. There we go. I'll do this, then we'll do this. No, that's too much. Hang on. kind of went a little wild with it there. Hang on. All right, textured blender. Okay, cool. I need to drag that out a little more though. Hang on. Color stretch increase. There we go. Come on. We're going to get to a point that I'm happy with it eventually. That can be sooner or that can be later. It's all up to you. Actually, no. Technically, since it depends on my happiness, it's up to me. I'm kind of solely responsible for that level. Okay. That's good, though. Then right here, we'll have the shading here. And actually, maybe even make it like this darker shading. Whoop. Right there. Forgot that I was on the Milli pen. Okay, there we go. Do I want to blend this one out? Maybe. Yes, I do. Alright, what about textured blender? Which is the tool that I was using before. Works for me. Yeah, okay. Then the metal. That's all that's left. Okay. For that one, we're gonna go kind of basic. Well, cell shading for you, my boy. Okay, let's see. Thinking about how the shadow is gonna fall on these. Okay, so first we can start off with the sword shadow. That's gonna be the easiest to figure out. Then next, I think part of this kind of indent is gonna be shaded. Yeah, I don't know why I say cell shading. Cell shading is just a style that I'm most comfortable with. You know, this kind of like apply a fill bucket shadow to the whole kind of stretch of it. I've learned that this is apparently called cell shading. And I don't know why that is. I imagine it's got something to do with like an old animation term. No, it definitely has something to do with an old animation term because cells are what you used to call like those laminate folders that you would paste images on top of to make animations. So maybe it's called that because that's kind of loosely how it was done. You know, maybe they hired some little rice man to use the paint bucket tool on Photoshop to do it. Okay. Then over here, that is going to kind of stretch out like this. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna kind of taper it down here. I'm gonna use the wand tool to select the inside of this part, and then I'm gonna kind of go hog wild on this part. Okay, then from there, I also need to be able to add a little bit of shading to this part here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and apply that with a gradient. Okay, then over here. Thankfully these diamonds I can actually pretty easily wrap my head around what they're supposed to be shaped like. To an extent. You know, thankfully they're not some more complicated shape. Well, I say that until I get to the knee bracers. Those might actually be a bit of a problem. Not sure why, but I feel like they will be. Okay, is this shade of metal anywhere else? Is it the same shade as this? Yes, it is. Okay, so let's do the sword first. Or, you know, I say first. Well, let's take care of the sword before we move on to the other parts. So I think the best way to do this is actually to start up a new layer. Do a wet wash, kind of all around it. Make some more intense down the middle. And then I'm just going to blur that with a Gaussian blur. And then I'm going to add the little dings and scratches in with the actual pen. Or with a fill tool, whatever. Hang on, I think I need to add this manually to kind of keep working on it like this, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to do it the way I want to. Okay, then I think we're going to need to do some soft, probably some hard stuff, like right around here. Or actually, no, wait, wouldn't it go like this? I think it would, right? I need to look at more swords on the internet. Yippee! saying that I need to look at more swords on the internet is kind of like the equivalent of as a child your teacher rolling in one of those like huge CRT television sets, saying that you're going to watch an episode of Bill Nye. You know, it's still going to technically be work. They're probably going to make you write a paper about it, but who cares? You're going to watch Bill Nye. I got to look at swords on the internet. No, hang on. Okay, so maybe just one across. Yeah, I think that's gonna have to be how it is. Okay, and then from there, that's the sword taken care of. I'm not gonna touch it anymore because I've got other things I gotta get going with. Okay, and then over here. And we'll also use this shading for the little pommel. I almost called it the little knob here. It's a pommel. I don't know why these things remind me so much of doorknobs. I think it's because they have a similar shape. I mean, usually, right? They're usually rounder, but I just use this shape. Okay. Yeah, there we go. No, that's too shiny though. I think it does need to be like a more kind of dull shine for this to work. Although maybe I can just add a little bit right around here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I said I wasn't going to work on the sword anymore. Turns out that was a lie. Just a little bit of extra sword time. 5 extra minutes in the sword pit. Okay. I don't know if this is going to look good, but I have to try it. No, that doesn't look that good, honestly. It was worth an attempt, though. I think I might have had something there, but I don't... No, I gotta do it. I gotta try doing something, at least. Okay, here's an idea, then. How about I grab these... Then I go to the gradient again, and then over here, just slightly. What was the, like, shiny color? This one? Okay, and then I slightly just kind of dust it with that. That looks bad also. How about this? Better. I'll settle for that. You know, I'll settle for that. That works for me. Here we go. Then we'll take care of the rest of the armor. Thankfully, I think there's only the 2 leg armor bracer things left. Now that makes it look like they're blending into the pants. Okay. I think this might be a slightly different color. I think it might be this one here, actually. I don't know if that's accurate, but hey, that worked for me. Okay, then over here. This guy is definitely getting a kind of fill color background. I'm sorry, man. I had too much fun drawing your design to remember to think of a background. We'll find something though. We'll find something. You know, I'm sure in my little treasure trove of whatever the fuck I downloaded from the asset store, we'll have something appropriate. Okay, there we go. And then, did the bracers feature any kind of shading? No, I'll have to think of that myself. Groovy. Well, I probably wouldn't have gotten at the shading anyway. Okay, so maybe... like, hang on. Maybe like this? Would that make sense? I feel like it would. Although I think maybe with a little bit of blending a little bit would be much better. I took away too much though. It still needs to be in this kind of shape, but I need to maybe make the eraser smaller. Okay, there we go. I'll take it. Okay, this one here. Am I on the right layer? Yes, I am. Okay, cool. A moment of sheer panic. Am I on the right layer? The answer is yes, I was, thankfully. Okay, and then these guys here. Need to just touch up the scales a little bit. Nope, I just turned him into a orange dragonborn. Oompa loompa doopity doo. Okay. The good thing about scales is that you can just shade half of it and call it a day. You just need to figure out where the kind of like where it's kind of like apex is, basically. And then you can shade everything underneath that. I mean, naturally you can get a little bit more fancy with it, but that's how I choose to look at it. Okay. Or, you know, you can shade the whole thing like I did just here. Sometimes that's also more appropriate. Okay, then over here. There we go. Here we go. Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. I think that's the last part. Yeah, I think we got everything. Except maybe some shading on the nails. We can do that just very quickly. Whenever I kind of zoom out on a piece like this, and I say, okay, I think that's it, I need you to understand that I'm basically kind of initiating a Terminator-style scanning sequence where I look for anything that's unshaded. Sometimes it fails, but most of the time it manages to catch something very easily. A blessing and a curse. Okay. A blessing because it leads to higher quality pictures, obviously, but also, like, I don't think I can turn it off. If I don't like how something turns out, I cannot not notice it, you know? Thankfully, I'm very happy with how this piece is coming together. Okay. No, I think I have to shade this part here. Thankfully... Oh, wait, no, I remember now that I've merged everything together. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay, we're gonna just do a little bit of erasing on these guys where the light would hit. Then we're going to turn these back on. And then we are going to find a multiply mode that works with this mess. Okay, I need to kind of grab hold of this part here and just get rid of what I've got in here. The scale here raises a very interesting point that I actually have kind of like under shaded the tail. I like that I said that like as if the scale itself like said, "Hey, you missed a spot, bub." That's not what actually happened, but I kind of figured that out with the scale's help. So you know, it's kind of like it told me, you know. There we go. See, look at that. How hard was that? Don't answer that. Actually, I don't know how hard it was either. I need y'all to understand that when I start streaming this. And I'm vaguely gesturing towards my head. This whole thing becomes a black box for approximately 3.5 hours. Alright? It's pure System 1 instinct, just talking nonstop. Okay. Alright, selected layers, and then we can do our tonal correction, gradient map. Yeah, let's go for the sky ones this time around. I think maybe sunrise might be interesting. This kind of sunrise here. Oh, I kind of like this one, but I think this is just literally the same thing. Yeah, oh, heck, I realize now that I forgot to shade the neck thing here. Or maybe I just completely shaded it, I don't know. Either way, I could use a little extra detail, so I'm just going to go ahead and head back in there. Okay, over here. Okay. Actually, I don't think this one needs a tonal correction. I really like the colors as is. So I think now I just gotta find a background to use. Okay, I'm not using a proper picture, I don't think. What about... Thinking about this. How about... Okay, maybe I'm... Why do I just have a finger here? Whatever. Yeah, somehow this guy seems to me like a tartan type. No. How about... Alright, how about this? No, hang on. This feels wrong. Okay, I've got a different idea. How about kind of like a clear blue, sky blue? No, that's way too bad of a contrast with the... Hang on. Oops. Okay. Okay, refer to only editing layer, and then I need to change this around so it doesn't contrast quite as so bad. Already done green. Red might be good. Oh, like a red like that, it really makes the blue jump out. Okay. Then what I'm thinking is I had a special brush somewhere around here that had like these light patterns. Yeah, this one. So, okay, maybe not that one specifically. Maybe, I think it was this one actually. Hang on. Oh yeah, this is it. Okay. Maybe with a different color. Oh wait, I see what's wrong here. Okay, so maybe black and white? No. Alright, I think maybe this is not it, but maybe... What about... these things here? Okay. Oh, does the brush size not actually affect the particle size? No, it does not. Okay, here we go. No. Wait, what's this thing? Well, that's kind of neat, but it doesn't really go with the whole vibe, unfortunately. Let's see. Dragons are kind of feathery, right? Alright, maybe now I can go for like one of these image materials, so. What about this? Okay, I've got an idea now. No, this is not right either. Huh. What about this one? Oop. No. This also doesn't feel right. A lot of interesting patterns on this, though. I could definitely see this being useful for manga and such, but perhaps not for my causes and needs at the moment. How many different variations of dots can you have, is my question. How many dots is too many dots? You know? What do you mean there's no object to transform? Oh, I see. It's a halftone layer. Alright, so if I bring down the density or bring it up... I see. Noise, dot expression, mask expression, show gradient. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go for the plain background. I gave it my best shot, but I tried. It doesn't always work out. But yeah, I'm happy with how this piece came out, though. I'm happy with the shading most of all. I think I really did well with that one this time around. But yeah. Alright, let's save this here. Let me save that, and we can go back on over to the just chatting screen so I can go find somebody for us to raid. There we go. Yeah, home sweet home, thankfully. Let's see who all is streaming. Oh, quite a few people, actually. Oh, V's streaming, just chatting stream. So he's doing Pokemon Emerald, Dorian's doing Fall Guys. I kind of want to see what Corgi's up to. They're playing Somnium Files, so I kind of want to see what kind of point they're up to. So yeah, if you're interested in the game, the Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative, this might or may not have spoilers, so do beware of that. In the meantime, on Thursday I'll be doing another art stream. Wait, no, hang on, that can't be right. Oh man. Okay, so yes, Thursday I will be collabing with a bunch of my buddies. We'll be playing Don't Starve. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that a lot. Friday is going to be another art fight stream, and Sunday we'll be playing Valhalla again. Thank you all for coming by. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all next time. Bye.